Hey everyone! Hold on. You know what?
The bloopers, yay!
Yeah, a little blooper, a little
Hey
blooper.
everyone.
I need my bullet points just right in front of me. I can't just for this. I need the script a little bit.
Nah, he just playing with y'all. He's always prepared. He's just trying to see if y'all on point, viewers. Ha ha.
See, I'm sure at least. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to our podcast. This is where we watch all of the Marvel movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe individually, and then we come together on a video chat and discuss it. We review it, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, as a quarantine project since we're all stuck at home and we're binge watching shows anyways. My name is Rob, and I brought a few friends with me.
Shawnette.
Rinaldi.
Elise.
And I'm Fergie.
In this episode, we are going to talk about the Avengers.
Shield, run by Nick Fury, has the Tesseract, the item that the Red Skull used in Captain America. During routine experiments on the otherworldly device, Loki shows up, teleported through the portal that the Tesseract opens up, and he steals it along with a few Shield agents, including Hawkeye. Nick Fury is forced to unite a bunch of different heroes together in order to stop Loki from using the Tesseract from taking over the world. But the question is, will Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, and Black Widow unite together against this otherworldly threat called Loki? Or will they fail to work together in order to save the world? We find out in The Avengers.
We will find out. That is a hefty list of superheroes, and one of these things is not like the other. We had some time to look at reviews and what people have said. Elise and Fergie, what did you guys find online? What did people say about this movie?
I found a review on Rolling Stone on this, and this is by a Peter Travers, dated April 30th, 2012. And the first paragraph says this: Let me sprint right to the point. The Avengers has it all, and then some. Six superheroes for the price of one ticket: Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and the Hulk. It's also the blockbuster I saw in my head when I imagined a movie that brought together the idols of the Marvel world in one shiny, stupendously exciting package. It's Transformers with a brain, a heart, and a working sense of humor.
I got an audience review from Google, and this person, DJ, says The Avengers is a gamble that really shouldn't have paid off, but Joss Whedon and Marvel Studios made it pay off as best as possible. 4 years of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies centered around the individual Avenger members made us care about the characters before bringing them all together for the first time. Add that to a great villain, a smart script, and plenty of action scenes, and you've got yourself a movie for the ages.
Okay, let me just start off by saying that this is the Avengers. Like, I don't know where you were or how you remember seeing this for the first time, but nothing like this in its day took place. This movie changed the scope of how movie makers, film directors, writers, screenplays, whatever. It changed the scope and the dynamic of the movie going experience, and apparently there's so many other movie studios that tried to copy it. It made that much of an impact, and even when they tried to copy it, they just could not. They could not meet those expectations. They couldn't deliver in the same way that Marvel has. So before we get into our review, it's good to hear what people said. What letter grade did we give this movie?
Letter grades.
Letter grade, letter grade.
I gave it a B. It was fantastic. Great action. It was so cool to see everyone on screen at once. I love how everyone was kind of introduced. Like every hero made an awesome entrance. Um, and I enjoyed it. I would definitely watch this again over and over again. It was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. There you
Wait,
go.
she said
Okay, so
B.
B. She said B.
Just
Mm-hmm.
a B.
B.
Hmm.
Wow.
Just to
Okay.
be.
I
Look,
want to hear your
Okay.
Fergie's
list
got
at the
standards.
end.
She's seen some
I
movies,
got
I
this.
guess.
Fergie, I want to
I
hear your
guess
list
so.
at the end.
Jeez, like
I'm
I'm over
Seriously.
here
interested.
like, did I? I'm over here thinking about my grade. I'm like, did I make a mistake? Because I'm giving this an A minus. I think this movie was really exciting. I it's crazy because I rewatched this and I'm rewatching this at my home, so I'm watching it in 2D and I got excited. Like it
Mm,
was so visually stunning. The action was great. I love the team ups. When it all comes together, that final fight just you know yeah, it just man, that was great. I don't a B really? Oh man, that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. But yeah, no, I thought it was great. The action was on point. There was a lot happening trying to, put like show you where each Avenger is and trying to gather them for the initiative. But nah, I think this was great. Loki does his thing per usual. Like,
mhm.
yeah, nah, I love this. I could watch it. If I rewatched it in 3D, I think I would just be like, probably die of a heart attack now. Like, I just have a better appreciation for it now. It's kind of interesting.
I think for me, this movie was great in terms of how the character dynamics. You have six characters. Well, five and a half in my opinion, but we'll get to that later. But you have five and a half characters,
Mm,
and
Shut
the way they all interact and connect with one another in scenes that don't feel overwhelming because on its face you could be like, man, six or five and a half heroes, that's a lot to juggle. And then Loki,
He's
he's
really
a
throwing
he's
that
a
half.
D, but he's got to have his screen time. And you got Samuel
wow.
Jackson, he's got to get a few lines in there. Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury. But you don't feel overwhelmed. You feel like you're connecting with each character. You understand their perspectives, and it's cool to see the journey of how they become a team over the course of the movie. You get to see Loki be a very complex, smart villain. His motivations are not one dimensional. Because I've seen other superhero movies and you get really one dimensional villains, but you kind of understand Loki's point of view, even though you don't agree, obviously. And you get some great action sequences, especially the third act. The third act is amazing. It's well shot. Everyone has a moment. Well, almost everyone has a moment. Um, and there are a couple scenes or a few scenes where it looks a little dated, the
Mm.
graphics, the visuals, but
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
the choreography's on point, so I don't really mind it too much. And the dialogue is funny and it trucks along really consistently. So I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Mm.
Okay.
I wonder who this point fifth of a person is. Did you can't you can't use this
We'll
point
get
for
to it.
life.
We'll get to it later.
I wonder.
We'll
I
get to it
really
later.
Mm,
wonder.
I have a hunch.
I would grade this movie an A plus. I just think it was awesome. Just first of all, the content was great, the plot was great, action was great. Yep, no complaints there. And it was
Mm.
funny, especially that part where Hulk smash. Yeah, he killed it. So I'd give it
There
an
you go.
overall A.
A or A plus?
A plus.
Okay, you'll give it an A plus. Okay. So you give this movie an A plus, but Captain America First
A
Avenger,
plus
you give
plus plus.
okay.
Listen, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
She's
Wow.
saying
You
that
know
the
Just
Captain
it.
likes
America First
Captain
Avenger was
America.
better than
This is
Avengers.
a person.
Wrap your head around that.
I gave it a B though,
She,
so
she
I liked it, but
you know.
it's a little
All cap,
Cap
no
cheesy.
cap.
Cap stole her heart because this the one.
It is Cap. Yeah, it is. Well, I give this movie an A minus. This was very, very bold for a movie studio to do this. I know that there are many movie studios at this time when this was released. There are many movie studios that wanted to do their own world building, universe building type thing, but could not figure it out. And At the time, Marvel also did not have their main popular heroes. They did not have Spider-Man. They did not have X-Men. They did not have Fantastic Four. They had a bunch of heroes that either we didn't really know about or we didn't really care about. Nobody cares about Thor, or at least not up until now. Nobody cared about Iron Man. Nobody cared about Captain America. Nobody really cared about Hulk. These are stories and people that we either didn't care about or we know too much about. And, you know, why would we watch? It's like, why would we watch? How would you put together a Thor movie? How would you put together a Captain America movie? How can you do a team up movie? And they did it. They pulled it off. And for them to make this such a bold um, movie where they're getting heroes that they're taking a chance with, um, and they did it really well. Like this is a classic. And yeah, I give it an A minus. I would give it an A, but there is a reason why the minus is there, which I'll discuss a little later. But nonetheless, I still give this an A minus.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Cool.
So
Cool.
this is a massive movie where we're getting all these heroes together, and we gotten to know some of them leading up to this movie. I think that's how we're going to do this podcast. Is we're going to talk through character by character. That way, we can see if we can attack all of the moments that we liked, some of the hero journey with each of the character, and then once we talk about each characters individually, we can then talk about the third act of the movie where they're in New York and talk about some favorite points in that. And so, who's a standout character? Let's start with that. Who's someone who just stood out for you in this movie?
Stand
My man Bruce.
out.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
So why
Mark
Yeah.
Bruce?
Ruffalo is in the building, man. I was telling you guys during the whole podcast, there's a light. There's a light at the end of the dark, hard to see ending of that movie, and
Oh
his
man,
name is Mark
hard to
Ruffalo.
see. That ending was very hard to see.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo shined a light of brilliant acting and great scenes into this Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, honestly,
As
yeah,
our first
it's
introduction to
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everybody did their thing, but I would agree with Fergie too, with Bruce, just because what what's cool about it is like Mark Ruffalo just slipped in there and like nobody said nothing. And we respected that and we were like,
yeah,
yes,
Yep. Hmm.
this is happening. We're going. So from the actor standpoint, like I think that was already a standout, but even just like this was the time that Hulk had control, relative control, so he was actually able to be useful to the group as
yeah.
well, and he was forcing it. This guy, yo, when he was smacking up the Chitari like nobody's business. So it's just like, yeah, I think he was a big standout.
With Mark Ruffalo, um, just kind of appearing on scene and owning his role. I mean, it's funny. You watch him in the first 3 minutes of the movie, you're sold. That is Bruce Banner, and I thought that was like really cool, really crazy, and I feel like he just captured the different dynamic between Hulk and Bruce Banner, even though he himself isn't really playing Hulk. Um, I don't know. I think he provides that depth that the past Hulk movie did not really have.
yeah, yeah, there was a moment too where I think in the intro scene with him with Black Widow where you're kind of reminded of Hulk in a way because like in the first Hulk movie he was the U.S. government and the military betrayed him. They said like, oh, we're using the science for the betterment of mankind, but they were trying to turn him into a weapon, and so he got betrayed, and so you kind of see all that in how he acts with Black Widow. He's very suspicious and cynical,
Right.
and he just does a good job portraying that throughout different scenes in the movie, and I think it shows that he did a great job just being Bruce Banner in this movie. Like he didn't, I felt like the actor like didn't worry about the fact he wasn't in the solo Hulk movie. I think he just took what was written and did a great job with it, and so you can understand why he's distrustful because all the characters in the movie judge him because of his alter ego, and you can
Mm,
see it in how he acts around people.
hmm. Yeah, you kind of hit on it. Like I like how he Mark Ruffalo and his character that he's portraying. That he the way they chose to honor the first Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk, only talk about the important stuff, but very lightly, but enough for us to know, like, okay, there's some history of the Hulk. Um, I know for me, watching this for the first time years ago, I I didn't think of the Incredible Hulk that much. Yeah, I seen it once, and I forgot it the second I stopped watching it. But I know that watching this movie, I didn't choose to compare it. You know, it's funny. We get all these
Mm.
heroes in different like reboots and Fantastic Four and the Spider Mans, and get all these reboots. And we compare each actor with the last person who did it. With Mark Ruffalo, it's like he not only reboot and restarted, but it was like a fresh start. Like we
Yeah,
don't even care, you know, which I thought was cool.
you know what he's frustrated with just by watching him in Avengers.
Yeah.
Because no one
I
trusts
think
him. No one trusts him in the movie except Iron Man.
we also get more he's more dynamic compared to Edward Norton's Hulk, which I really like. Like we get to actually see how smart he is. We don't just hear people say he's smarter, he's a professor or
Right.
whatever. We get to see it in action. And it seems like he's stronger than the previous Hulk too, which I kind of liked.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you really get to care about him. Um, and yeah, actually, I wonder. There's no romance with this Hulk, I guess, right? At least in this movie,
No.
Not really in this
No.
movie.
with
Mm-mm.
the Hulk, which is nice. I don't think we need another romance.
Ooh,
Yeah.
because that last one was rough.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. The movie tanked because of that. In my opinion.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started with that.
When she
Ooh,
showed up,
rough.
the
Yeah.
movie like at first I was feeling it. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is it's not bad. It's pretty solid. And then she showed up, and I'm like, man, this,
Mm.
whoo, yeesh.
Right.
Yeah.
Poor Dr. Sampson. Maybe he dodged a bullet.
He got a
Uh,
bromance. He got a bromance with Tony. That's all he needs. Get that
that's true.
bromance
They
action.
can nerd out
We can
together.
see it at the end, man. We'll get there, but we saw it at the end.
Mm-mm-mm.
What about I guess like talking about Mark Ruffalo, seeing the character Bruce Banner and then comparing it to the Hulk. I feel like this movie made a decision to make it a little bit more about the Hulk. Like throughout the movie, we're
Mm.
seeing that like, okay, Loki is going after the Hulk. Um,
Hmm.
Shield wants the Hulk. They even made a container for him in case he, grows. Um, Everybody just seems to want the Hulk or whatever. And it's just like, they made him something of an attention grabber in this movie, and they
That's
made him
true.
part of the plot, which I thought was a good move. Seeing as like his last movie barely had a plot. Well, had a plot, but
Mm,
whatever. Um,
Really.
but I just felt like that this movie,
Wasn't dynamic.
overall, all the characters, yeah, all the characters had their pockets, and they all played a good part in the plot. But I feel like the Hulk played a very very key part in that.
Mm.
I think you're right. That was very smart how they used him intentionally like that. Because I think if he wasn't part of the plot, it would just be like, okay, now why do I have to care about him?
Hmm.
There was one scene in the beginning, or
Mm.
not in the beginning. I think it was like past the beginning when it's like when all the heroes are starting to gather, like that part of the film. And Coulson's with Captain America, and he's trying to fly him over to where Loki is. Um, and he tells him that what is it? He kind of explains the Hulk's backstory real quick, and like he was saying like yeah a lot of people are trying to replicate your formula, including Dr. Banner, and
Hmm.
he thought he could use gamma radiation to activate the formula, and then this is what happened, and then Cap sees like it's Bruce Banner real quick in a lab, and then it cuts to the Hulk destroying a bunch of stuff. And in Cap's expression, it was like horrified. It was like
Hmm.
it's almost like he feels kind of guilty in a way. Like, man, like people were trying to emulate me, and this scientist, in the process of doing that, he's stuck in this state
Hmm.
where he's like the Hulk.
Yeah, I think just going off that too, maybe I might be going a little somewhat off, but not completely. I just like, the more I think about it, I like how we realize that these group of people, though they're kind of meeting each other as a group, as a team for the first time, they were always connected in some way without them even knowing. So, right, like you said, Rinaldi, that they were trying to make another super soldier, which resulted in Hulk. So it's like, okay, that type of work that was being done with Cap now comes to the present time, and now we've got the Hulk, and then Cap being connected to Tony because his dad was in Cap's time, and so they had that connection. And then just how the Tesseract kind of translates through all of their stories as well. Like Cap gets fished out. There's a Tesseract, but the Tesseract was in Asgard, and it connects like Thor and Loki, and you know what I mean. So it's just, and then there's gamma radiation in it too, and
Yeah,
Hulk's got gamma radiation. It's just like, I don't know. I thought that was really a cool dynamic, and then just Nick Fury
Hmm.
wanting a response
yeah,
team and having Black Widow and Hawkeye already on their side, and they're just kind of like, just how the pieces are kind of coming together. I thought that was really cool. The more I think about it, I'm like, oh
Yeah.
wow, they have something that connects
yeah,
them.
Hmm.
yeah. That's
Wasn't
true.
thrown together. Like, oh, they just happened
I
to
feel
link
like this entire Marvel universe is like that. As we've been watching movies, I keep seeing little intricate like things that are
Yeah,
hints from other movies, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, or look at
together.
that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm
yeah,
paying attention to it now too, because I'm like, I never seen that before, but look at Homeboy, he was in this movie.
Yep.
Hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
yeah,
Like
you're right. It's definitely connected.
Dr. Selvig knew Bruce Banner. He mentions in Thor 1. He thinks Shield kidnapped him. I mean, obviously that's not what happened. He's just in India helping people that are sick. But
So okay, so Bruce Banner, he played a huge part in this movie. The Hulk really was part of the plot. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Hulk in the third act. What do we think about Captain America in this movie?
He's beautiful. I'm just kidding.
You darn it! That
And
will
there
never
it
happen.
is.
It,
There it is.
that's
what are
always,
some what are
She
some
will never have anything
objective
bad.
thoughts about
Shawnette
Captain
says that that is objective. Who says he's not beautiful?
America?
like,
Oh my goodness.
is he the
Uh,
most beautiful though? Is the question.
So he in this movie, I found him. Well, one, it's really sad that he had to wake up and find out how much time passed by since he actually
Hmm.
fell on the ice.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. I don't know. I see a little bit of sadness over him, but I was like, yo, he missed his date, that girl, and then I don't know. But I do remember that I just felt like he was very, I don't know, like a stand-up guy in this one, and he didn't let the fact that everybody else had superpowers kind of like, daunt him from,
Hmm.
still giving to the team. So yeah, I felt like he had a strong character in this movie.
You know what I think that is? I think it's, well, it's a couple of things, but all of these heroes exist because of him. The Hulk exists because Captain America was first.
Mm.
Um, Tony Stark, not Tony Stark, but Howard Stark helped create Captain America, and that's how Tony Stark is pulled in.
But the
Can't
Um,
believe
Tesseract,
that was
the
him.
Iron Man suits use the same technology as the Tesseract,
right.
and Howard Stark found it.
Hmm.
Right, but what I'm getting at is like, I think Captain America doesn't feel threatened by either one of these guys. I don't even think he felt threatened by the Hulk.
Nah. He was trying to be nice to him because he felt
Yeah,
bad.
he there was a sense of respect towards Bruce Banner. Like he wasn't trying to poke him with needles or bother him or anything. I noticed that like in this movie that he seems to be the one that's like a little clear headed.
Mm-hmm.
That he kind of he's about the mission. He kind of sees through some of the silver lining, and although there are some things that he missed that other characters in this movie helped him realize, he just had this. And the reason why I'm saying that is because in that first altercation he has with Loki, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get introduced to Iron Man in this movie. He comes in, shoots Loki, and then out of nowhere, like Loki just like, okay, I give up. And then they're in the plane, and Loki's locked up, and Captain America looks. He turns towards Tony Stark, and he goes, "Yeah, he gave up way too easy. That guy is like, he can pack a punch. Why did he give up too easy? I don't buy it."
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then Tony Stark like jokes about it, and then I think the same thing happens later in the movie too, right? That like he's like, "We got to focus on Loki." Well, Loki's not the problem. Yes, he is the problem.
Mm.
He joked about his age on the plane. He said, it's been a while, old man. Maybe you're not used to this whole hero thing.
But he is. It's y'all. You not used to it. You not cut like don't come at my man like
He
that.
is
Yo,
used to it. He was a
The
hero
younger,
before.
the younger generation, man, they be rational on the older folk.
they need to
That's what
respect
they
their
do.
elders. That's the problem. See that? But anyways, yeah, no. On a serious note, though, but yeah, I think that's what I appreciate about Cap is that he was able to like still see things clearly, and he was like basically, even though they don't explicitly say it, I say the person who led that squad is him, and I think even Nick Fury was kind of given that a little bit too, like kind of giving a bit of a subtle nod to like the fact that like Cap is gonna be the one to lead the squad a little bit, at
Mm.
least in this particular instance, just with the thinking about like the whole Coulson death and the training card and stuff like that, and how he kind of like directed it more so to him to give him that push.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just like that he was like he just saw through everything and could like see things objectively instead of getting so emotional. And I think that's what really primes him as a soldier is like, no,
Hmm.
I see what's going on. This needs to be done. I know you feel like X, but it's fake. Like you don't so I
Right.
like that.
Yeah, my only thing is I didn't like his suit in this movie. Like it
Oh
looked like
yeah,
he was
that's the
wearing
one.
pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
did
I didn't
not
like
like
that.
this
yeah,
suit.
that's
I did
awful.
not either.
Mm.
This man was wearing a onesie with the butt flaps
So,
and the whole nine, and it's like
Yeah,
no, dude.
man.
I
He
did
looked like a
not like.
clown.
yeah, that's a bad
He
suit.
looked like a clown. And I know Coulson's just like, very, nostalgic, and he's fanboying. He helped make the suit. He tried to modernize it, but it was way too bright. Um,
Way
he
too
literally,
bright.
it,
You can see it
it
from
looked
5 miles
like
away.
recycled toy fabric or something.
Mm-mm. So
Yeah, I
between
think
that one and when he was dancing around, which one y'all
Wait.
think is better
Dancing around.
in the
Oh,
first
you
movie
mean
when
in
he
the
was
Captain
a
America
I
dancing
mean,
movie?
monkey?
they're
Oh, that's
basically
basically the same
they're
suit.
both
That's
bad. They're
basically
both bad.
yeah.
Like the Avengers one had lines that were a little bit straighter and more like crisp, but that's the only difference between the two
Right.
suits.
Just better
I
graphics,
don't.
but
I
it's still
like
as
the
good.
suit. I like the suit without him wearing that helmet. When he pulls that helmet over, it literally looks like he bought that like little mask at Target.
Yeah,
Um, it looks bad. It really does. It looks bad. But without it, if he's just wearing his suit, no helmet, no mask, I feel like he looks fine. It's just that when you include the
The man's
mask,
trying not to get shot. He's trying to live to see another day.
yeah. But look, if I went to war in pajamas, I'm gonna get shot.
yeah, brother.
No wonder why he needs that big
You gotta
shield.
And
Like,
wear real. Um,
and it's mad bright. So if you were trying to do any sort of espionage or
Right?
anything cool,
Yeah,
shot.
he be standing
It
up.
don't even
I'm shocked that he was not caught when he was like, looking up, interrogating, not interrogating, but like going in the back and finding the Hydra weapons. I'm surprised he wasn't caught.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was weird.
he
I'm
You
like,
stands
see
out
those
with his
co-
sore thumb.
see those colors in a mile away.
No, what was I gonna say? He looked cool without the helmet on during the Hawkeye invasion scene when Hawkeye's terrorists. Well, Hawkeye is not a terrorist. He was just brain controlled to fight with terrorists on the plane, the helicarrier, and Cap's fighting some of these agents off, and he's not wearing his mask, and he actually looks pretty cool in that scene fighting
Yeah,
on the
suit was
plane.
good.
He has to get creative too because he can't fly, so he has to jump at the right time so he doesn't get shot. And it was
Mm.
really clever how he's able to get out of that. I don't think he's just like physically impressive. I think he's rarely intelligent too, and he can think and strategize. Like he's not just like a guy that can fight.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't like that helmet. That helmet makes
Yeah,
him
the helmet's bad. Yeah, it was bad.
look dorky. Like it
It's
just looks
bad
bad.
helmet. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Jenna wants. I like the
Don't want to
helmet.
see him wear that. I do not want to see him wear that again. You were definitely right about that. But
Well, I
I
don't think.
feel
Yeah, I
like
don't think he will.
the suit evolves, all right? Cut the man some
It,
slack.
well, I think so, right? I would hope so.
I
I'd hope
respected
so.
his leadership though. I think he really did. I mean, yeah, he made mistakes here and there, but he definitely took it upon himself to lead his people on that
Yeah,
team, and I
which is
respect that.
talent. That's talent
Yeah,
because to lead and command respect in a suit like that that takes
In a suit like
yeah,
that.
in a suit like that it definitely come in, it's definitely a talent.
Mm-mm.
What do we think about Tony Stark in this movie?
Man, I can't
Ah,
stand that man.
Oh
yeah.
wow,
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 Well,
wow.
see,
yo,
you know what
that's unfortunate.
vid.
He just comes off as so arrogant, so rude. Mm-mm.
How's he arrogant?
for
Wow.
good reason. He's a successful man, and he's built technology that's helped people.
So
Well, kind of.
sarcastic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I
Oh, it's
love it.
funny. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
no, I think
That man's
he
playing
did.
Galaga. I see him.
That guy's playing Galaga.
Yeah,
You
or
thought we didn't see it.
yeah, taking a look at this movie again, I'm trying to really understand what really was going on with him because like I thought like so he gets pretty snippy with Cap, but he's pretty like when it comes to him talking with like Bruce, they're relating over science and they seem to kind of be getting along and finding some common ground. But and I was thinking, I was like, oh well, maybe he don't like Cap because okay, this man didn't really, he was just given this serum and then bam, now he's super. But it's like at the same time, if that was the case, then he would be mean to Banner as well. So I was like, so what's happening with him?
Hmm.
Why is that dynamic different? And
that's
so
not
I
Yeah.
don't
that's not
know.
true.
You you said that's
Banner
not true.
organized. Banner experimented on himself. He's a scientist, so he just injected himself with. He created the
Right. Okay,
gamma
yeah, yeah,
radiation.
but yeah, yeah. So well, okay, so yeah, but my point is that both of them like got some sort of injection of some kind and now they are super. That's my point.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And so I thought to myself, okay, maybe he's upset with Cap because he's just like, oh, look at this guy stomping around here being super. He ain't work for this, blah, blah. But if that was really the case, then he would have the same reaction with Hulk. But it seems like he actually
Mm.
bonded with Bruce. So I was like, what is this dynamic? And I wonder if it
He's an expert. He created.
no, but here
Cap volunteered for an experiment. Banner created it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what Elisa's talking about.
yeah, no, but here's what I'm saying. It's not, yeah, because I think what I'm trying to say is this. Even though, okay, I understand Bruce created it, but at the same time, you get an injection and bam, that's it. Like he doesn't really have to like work out whatever, and that's the same in both cases with Bruce and with Cap. You don't really have to do after you get the injection, bam, it's done. And so I thought maybe Tony was rude to Cap because he's like feeling like, oh, look at this guy, Mr. Entitled Man, just got whatever.
Hmm.
But I'm wondering if it has something more to do with the fact that he knew his father, and like just that connection there, that time that they got, that maybe Tony didn't get with his dad. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to figure out what dynamic is playing into it, that Tony like just came at Cap at like different points. I don't know if that makes sense. What I'm
It
trying to
makes
say.
it
That
makes
makes
sense to
sense.
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I think the relationship with him and Banner, because like Tony Stark, they everybody did their research on each other, and
Right.
everybody knows about each other, and then you have Tony Stark bonding over science and
Right.
language that no one else understands but Bruce Banner. I think growing up, Tony Stark. So we see that Tony Stark historically has daddy issues in
Right.
his past movies. I imagine, seeing as Howard Stark worked very closely with Captain America, that's all Tony Stark heard growing up was Captain America, Captain America, Captain America, Captain America. Look what he
Mm.
did. He did this in the war. He saved this. He defeated Nazi Germany. He did this. He did that.
Mm.
And like, if this is the same guy we're talking about, who's like sarcastic and short with people and just very arrogant, like I can see that kind of man getting really annoyed or growing up to be very annoyed with Captain America. Um,
Mm.
and I also think it's like it's an ego complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more complex than just the fact that he's a hero. He makes the comment when they go back and forth. It's like everything that you have has been given to you in a bottle, and so that
Right.
is part of it, I think. But I think there's so much underlying stuff, um, and they're both leaders, so it's two alpha males going head to head.
Well, Tony doesn't know
Yeah.
Cap.
Mm.
We got to know him in the first Cap movie. Like, because we're the audience, we're watching his whole journey. Whereas the average person on the street, they just know the dancing monkey version of Cap, and then the soldier that saved a bunch of people. They don't. It's not like Tony got to hang out with Cap and get some beers with him, talk about life, and like
Uh,
he never got that. He just sees the documentaries because I'm sure there were a ton of documentaries that came out after the fact, and he probably had to watch them with his dad, sit through them. So he doesn't know the real Cap. He just knows the media image of Cap. And he doesn't like that media image
Mm.
because it's this larger than life figure where the real Cap is a simple man that just wants to befriend people and help people. But Tonya doesn't know that Cap. So I think this movie is like them getting to know the real version of each other. Because I'm sure Cap, he did his research. He sees Tony partying with supermodels and flying around at the expo in Iron Man 2, and he's like, this guy's a selfish jerk. But he didn't see Tony bond with that doctor and try to save the doctor's life in Iron Man 1, or him like apologizing to Pepper and trying to, give her a chance to lead the company. Like, I believe in you. You can make a difference. He didn't get to see all that because that wasn't on TV.
So everybody but Shawnette liked Tony Stark in his movie.
the man is
I think
arrogant.
I think I think
Oh.
Shawnette fell asleep during Iron Man 1 because Tony was forced to realize the flaws in his character in Iron Man 1. You
Yeah,
know,
but even that stuff, that's not even the stuff like why people fall in love with Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark. It's literally because of
because
the
he's
very
funny,
things
he's
that
charismatic.
he's hilarious. But the very
Yeah,
things that Shawnette does not like about Tony Stark is the reason why people love this guy.
Which
he
is
he comes onto that
Yeah,
ship. He comes on that ship and he makes you laugh and you're drawn to him because he's just a he's just a magnetic personality.
yeah.
He's
Like
really
in
good with
that
people.
like in that scene when Coulson is in the elevator and he goes up to the top floor to talk to Pepper and Tony Stark.
Yeah.
The doors open and Pepper goes, "Oh hey Phil." He goes, "Phil, his name's Agent. His first name's
It's
Agent."
his
Yeah,
agent.
that's hilarious. You didn't like that one,
no,
Shawnette?
I
I thought
thought
that
that
was
was funny
funny.
as well. No, yeah. I mean, he got some jokes. I mean, up until this point, I have never like I haven't seen any Iron Man movies, so I don't know his backstory. All I know is I could see his sarcasm and how rude he is, but he does have his
Exactly.
funny moments.
Wait, you've never
Yeah.
seen the Iron Man movies? You said.
Up until this point,
Up until this point,
Oh, okay.
maybe she'll watch them after this podcast.
right.
Well,
Oh
maybe
snap.
just Iron Man 1. Anyway, um, I like the joke he told when Maria Hill was like, "Since when did you become an expert in astronuclear
Yeah.
physics?"
Oh,
Last night. So, what did you guys think of him just taking over, trying to take over the ship, and even making fun of Fury? Like, how does he look at these screens? He turns.
That was funny.
That's exhausting. What did you guys think of all that? Him taking over the ship and trying to be like, I'm gonna, find the Tesseract. I'm gonna take control of the
I
situation.
think I think he's trying to establish himself as like the leader and make an impression the second he steps into a room. Um, he also read up on all these heroes, and so I think he probably knows that if he doesn't do that right from the jump, he might be overpowered um, very, very quickly. And so I think he's trying to establish himself a little bit.
So insecurity,
Probably. I mean, he's
because
he's
he's
an
the
insecure
non-powered.
man.
Because
He is an
he's
insecure man.
out of the four main ones, he's
yeah.
the only one without powers out of the four.
It's a very insecure.
He's a nerdy know-it-all. That's what he.
He's a nerdy know-it-all.
That's very interesting. I never thought that about him because I feel like he's Tony. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. Like, I feel like that's just his personality. Even if it was just two other random people in the room, he would still kind of walk in and make himself known. So I don't know if it's so much of him being insecure, or just Tony being Tony.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Yeah.
But Tony, quote unquote, being Tony could be a facade for what's really inside, that insecurity, layers. Mm.
When he fights Thor, what y'all think of that?
He does fight Thor early on in the movie. He like he has this like one-on-one match
That's
with
right.
Thor. Well, let's back up a second because now I guess we can transition into Thor just a little bit because we get our first introduction in Thor, or we get the first introduction to Thor in this scene when they're in the plane and Thor comes and he grabs Loki and he flies out. First of all, I love the way he like swings his hammer and just like flies out. I thought that was like a cool touch to the character. Um, but he takes Loki. They have this back and forth, and then Iron Man knocks him out, and they have this like, they talk, they trash talk each other. And what does he say to Thor? He goes, does mother know you weareth her drapes?"
Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah, Shakespeare in the Park. Yeah, he says that. I think he said that
Yeah.
first. Yeah, he's so annoying. He's annoying sometimes,
Yeah.
but he's
And then he said tourist, and Thor got so mad he threw the hammer at Tony. I guess Taurus is an insult on Asgard.
What?
Taurus.
oh my god.
I don't know. Taurus set Thor off. The minute Tony said Taurus, Thor was like, "All right, no more talking. I'm gonna just throw my hammer at your face."
Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. That fight was cool. I remember seeing that fight in one of the trailers before seeing this movie. And that fight is what really got me excited. Like, wow, okay, they're actually gonna fight each other. Like that's what I want to see. But what really like, I mean, I kind of understand, but I always thought it was funny that like Loki's watching this the whole time.
Yo, he could have ran
Yep.
away mad times.
Yeah, he could have totally ran away,
Mm-mm.
which is like it further establishes Cap's point. Like he's up to something. Why aren't we paying attention to this guy? This guy's not. He had like 20 minutes to run away. He went nowhere. He sat and he watched this big fight.
I think Tony and Thor both were focused on Loki for personal reasons. I think
Right.
Tony, because I think deep down he knows he should have lost that fight to Thor. So he doesn't want to deal with Loki. He's like, no, this guy's an alien god. I want to deal with the Tesseract. That's science. If I find that, then I can prove my worth. And Thor, he and Loki have their own family history or whatever, so he don't care about no Tesseract. He's like that's a whole drama right there and a half
Hmm.
with Loki. Cap's the only one that cares about the Tesseract because he saw Red Skull try to destroy the United States with it in his movie.
Yeah,
So he's but he knows that Loki has a plan though because
that's true.
like you
That's actually
said,
that's
like yeah, the Tesseract is dangerous, but Loki's the one that stole it in the first place. So
right.
why don't we deal with him?
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Now that I had started to rewatch it again, what I picked up on was, you remember when Loki was kind of walking around, he talked to Selvig and then he talked to Hawkeye about like, oh, um, talking about, well, what did the Tesseract show you, right? And when he asked that to Hawkeye, he said, Hawkeye says, oh, my next target. And then Loki's like, what do you need? He said, I need a distraction and an eyeball. So we see before this whole fight that, okay, Loki gets the eyeball or whatever, but now I think this was the distraction part, which is why he didn't
That's
leave.
right. No one went after
So
Hawkeye.
nobody really was hip or had any inkling of like, okay, what is he really
Yeah,
doing?
Hawkeye just bounced. Yeah.
Right. So I think so now that I actually rewatched that yesterday before bed, I was like,
Dang.
oh,
Yeah. That's
aha,
Mhm.
okay.
wow.
Yeah. So that was his distraction.
Impressive.
Mm. Dang, I didn't catch that.
I did
That
not
wow.
catch that at
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
smart
all.
observation.
No. Come on, Elise.
yeah, no, see, yeah, so it's a good thing I watched it again. I watched it, yeah, watched it one time, then watched it again. I was like, oh, I didn't see that before.
So what did we like about Thor in this movie? Did he say anything? Did he do or say anything in this movie where we're that really like helped him stand out? Like what do you feel like? What scene do you feel like he captured?
The adopted joke was funny.
Loki is done wrong,
Oh,
but he's still my
that's
brother.
true.
It's like he killed 80 people in 2 days. He's adopted.
He stayed disowning him real quick.
Yo, seriously, it's like I try to back him up, but yeah,
Mm-mm.
I can I can't
They have
vouch for
this
that completely.
interesting love-hate relationship.
He said, this is gonna be dishonor.
I don't know. I think that intro scene was like to me. Well, aside from the third act, that intro scene was probably his biggest moment. I think this was. I think he kind of took a little bit of a backseat in this movie
Who?
compared to the other three
Loki?
main
Yeah.
heroes. Thor.
No,
Oh.
Thor.
No, Loki did not. No, Loki never take
Mm.
no back seat.
No,
We'll
he
get to
does
that
not
in
take
a.
a backseat for
We'll
no
get
one.
that. We'll get to that in a future podcast. But anyway, now Loki was doing his thing in this movie. But no, Thor I think took a back seat to Banner, Steve Rogers, and Tony Stark a little bit. Like
Mhm.
he had some good moments in the third act, and then the intro was pretty dope because Loki was a little
Yeah.
scared. He was shook, and Captain America was like, "What? You scared of a little lightning?" And he's like, "I'm not particularly fond of what follows
Right.
after
I love
this."
that part.
So that was a cool intro. So, but I don't think I
Yeah.
can't think of anything between that intro and the third act. I don't know about you guys. Maybe when Coulson died, I felt something for Thor because Thor had befriended him. Remember,
Yeah.
he called him son of Coal, and then he
Yeah.
Huh.
had to watch him get killed, and he couldn't do anything about it.
Son of
That
Cole.
was awful. He probably said son of
Right.
Coal like when he got stabbed. He was in his head. He's like
Hmm.
son of Coal. No.
He's probably said that in his head.
He's probably pouring out some Asgardian liquor for Coulson in Asgard
Oh man,
to honor
another.
him.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Another for Coulson
Yeah,
or son of Coal.
I think I would agree with Rinaldi. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was, yeah, his entrance, like basically snatching up Loki off the plane. Yeah. And then yeah, I mean he does his thing in New
yeah.
York.
I feel
Yeah.
like besides quotables and maybe a few scenes, like especially the intro scene was a great introduction, great way to introduce him in the movie. And then he has some quotables in this movie, but I think past that, I think Ronaldo, you're right. He does kind of take a little bit of a backseat. Um, Outside of the fact that he's Loki's brother, he I don't really think he plays much of an impact in this movie, other than, hey, I am looking for the Tesseract and I'm trying to arrest Loki.
He did what he came to do in the movie. Basically.
Yeah, he did what he came to, because those are Asgardian situations. The Tesseract and Loki. They're not human
You
situations.
humans are so petty
Yeah.
and
And
tiny.
And
yes,
tiny.
was
That
that
was
in this
funny.
movie?
That was in this
Oh
movie,
yeah,
yeah.
that was perfect.
Excuse me, do I come to your planet and blow things up?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, that was a funny line. That whole argument scene was kind of pretty
Right.
funny.
So we get the heroes and they meet each other, right? And then what happens is they get into this big fight in that one space, which I think Joss Whedon does really well. He tries to put characters in a room together and make them work. He doesn't do a whole lot of walking and talking. It's very much standing in a room and working together, working whatever it is. And that one scene where they're all fighting. What did you guys think of that scene? I mean, we kind of mentioned what Thor said, but what did we think of that whole scene?
They were all getting on each other's nerves.
Yeah, so to Shauna's point, they're all getting on each other's nerves, and the personalities are clashing. But like, I'm wondering about like the scepter too, and if that agitates something or whatever that got them a
Well,
little bit
Hmm.
extra
Cat
pillar of
find the
salt
weapons
on
that Nick
the
Fury was
all the
making with the
what was
Tesseract.
happening.
That's
Like,
what
I
would
don't know,
start
it just was
everything.
interesting.
Yeah, because when Tony Stark comes in and early on he gets in the
Mm.
helicarrier and he plants like a bug um, to hijack the system and know all of Shield's secrets. Which now that I'm thinking about it, it's making me think of future movies now. But he plants the bug, and him and Banner they do their thing, and they're investigating, and they're why the golden weapons, blah blah. And then Cap does the same thing. He finds Hydra weapons, the same weapons that were used back in his day, same exact ones. Um, then we find out later. I'm jumping a little bit, but we find out later that Coulson is carrying a weapon, which was a prototype made from the destroyer that was sent from Thor in the movie Thor. So it's like, why is Shield weaponizing a lot of these things? What's going on? Like, there's something that Nick Fury's not telling us, and that's when Nick Fury spills the beans a little bit, and it gets them all riled up. But I also think that the scepter had something to do with it too.
Yeah, yeah, it was glowing, and then at the end, Banner was holding it.
What is the extent of Loki's powers? Like, it could have been him. He could be mind controlling people from the little prison that he was in, that glass circle.
Yeah, through that
Like, was
scepter,
he
he
even
must have
in
some
there
connection with it.
the whole time? Was
Yeah.
he?
No, I believe he was
No,
in
he
there
was
the
in
whole
there. He was
time.
in there.
I believe that, but I do think that scepter, um, that scepter does contain something that influences mind control, which is why he was able to control Selvig's mind and then Hawkeye's mind. And so I I I'm on board with the theory that the scepter had something to do with at least influencing Hulk, because we find out that that's what Loki's play is that he's trying to get the Hulk out.
Mm.
And so who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I think also too, like he's timing it so that Hawkeye can break into the helicarrier more easily because
Hmm.
everyone's like preoccupied.
Right, right. Yeah, and he's successful at it, right? You know, the helicarrier the helicarrier was going down, and they were too busy fighting each other. And then the Hulk came out, and then they end up getting dispersed. And through all of that, Coulson dies. Loki kills Coulson, um, and this is kind of what Nick Fury uses
Mm.
to spur some of these heroes on a little bit
But
because
before we get there, could we talk about the Steve and Tony argument? Because a little
Sure.
bit more? Because Steve called Iron Man selfish and always trying to find the easy way out. You're never willing to make the sacrifice play. If you had to lay across a line so someone else could cross it, so that they could disarm a bomb, would you do it? And Tony said, "Oh, I would just cut the wire so the bomb doesn't go off." And he said, "That's your problem. Take off that suit. What are you?" And then Tony said, "Oh, I'm a billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, genius." So,
Pompous
and then
creature.
Tony Tony shot back and said, "Well, the only thing special about you is it came from a bottle. You're just a lab rat, Steve." So I don't know what you thought. I don't know what your thoughts. Well, we know what Charlotte's feeling, but what about the other three of you guys? is there truth to it?
Like, what specifically are you asking our thoughts
The
on? Like,
exchange, like who was right, who was wrong? Do both sides have a point? Like, is there something deeper going on with that little back and forth? Is Loki behind all of it? Did they not really mean it? Because the
hmm,
scepter was in the room.
I kind of felt like the argument sparked out of nowhere.
um, because this is all happening when they're present with everyone in the room, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
and I think what started it was Fury. He's giving his reasons for making those weapons, and then Steve says, "This is exactly what Loki wants. We have to focus on him." And then I think that's when Iron Man makes a joke, and then that sets Cap off, and he says, "Yeah, you don't make the sacrifice play. You're selfish. Like, you don't lay yourself on the line if the bomb's gonna go off." And then Tony's like, "Well, I just cut the wire." And then Steve said, "That's exactly your problem." So that's what set it off. Is like Steve was trying to get everyone to focus, but Iron Man kept making jokes.
I think in terms of that argument, it kind of gets I guess the theory gets blurred and you can't tell because I think that probably these were things, at least from Tony's end, realistically, like what he may have been thinking or feeling in his heart, for whatever reason. Um, so I don't know if that was just him just kind of acting on his own emotions or if that was the influence of the scepter or maybe it was the combination of both. I think maybe it depends on your like where your mindset's at the time, and that determines how much effect the scepter has. Like I don't know. It's just all it's kind of hard to tell because with Tony, it seems like he's kind of when it comes to Cap, he kind of has a thing in general. So I think in that scenario, it's a little hard for me to say what it could be. It could have been both his own emotional whatever plus influence of the scepter. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think that they're I think that they're both only kind of right, but mostly wrong. Um, Only because, like, for one, the place in which they're speaking from is not. It's they're both from a selfish place.
Hmm.
Like if Tony Stark is like calling out Cap, and he's basically saying like everything special about you came out of a bottle. Well, obviously he doesn't know Steve Rogers, so he's not right about that. There's a reason why he was given that. Give that same power to somebody else, and Tony Stark, he can do a little research, and he knows that there has been people who have tried to take the super soldier serum, and they've done terrible things with it. So it's not just the serum. Oh, you take the serum and now you're a superhero. There's so much more to Captain America than just being a super soldier. He's a good man if you watch um, Captain America. So that's where Tony Stark is wrong, and
I was
where
about to be like, yo, if the scepter is over there amplifying anything, it amplified his righteousness. Thank you
John,
very
it's
much.
like Captain America is never wrong.
Right, look at her
But
face.
even
She has
Captain
that look.
America said there's only one God and he don't dress like that. Like,
Oh my gosh.
even he thinks he's not right all the time.
But I was gonna say is the one thing he got wrong about Tony is that he he said that that Tony Stark is not the kind of person who will make the sacrifice play.
Where?
And Tony Stark didn't really
You
defend
gotta
that.
try that. Rewatch Iron Man 1 and
Where?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
rewatch
ain't
them.
even. Did you
Are you serious?
going
Okay, wait, no. Shawnat, you just gotta watch Iron Man 1 and 2. No, he is the kind, he does make the sacrifice play. It's just that they're going off of what they've seen in tabloids and
Yeah, secondhand information.
newspaper and whatever the
secondhand
public
info?
knows and whatever Shield showed them. Exactly. And so neither one of them knows their story from like grassroots. They don't. Like Captain America doesn't know that Tony Stark was in a cave, and maybe he does because of the news, but he doesn't know what exactly took place in that cave.
Yeah, also, he doesn't know that Tony flew to Jensen's village in Iron Man 1 to stop the terrorists from hurting all the people.
Yeah, because that was a thing, right? They considered that a training exercise.
Yeah, it's like a training exercise with the terrorists. So he flew himself, like he was still learning how to use the Iron Man suit. Like he could have waited until he understood the Iron Man suit better, but he didn't. He saw the children that were getting attacked, and so he just flew in without doing all the tests for the suit. Even Jarvis was warning him, like, I don't think this is a good idea. And Tony said, no, we have to do this. And he just flew in.
Yeah, we're gonna find Tony Stark does that a lot with Jarvis though. Like he's all because that's the thing with Tony Stark too is that Tony Stark, even though he builds his suit, he knows that he is better than the suit. It's always about the person wearing the suit. I think at the end of the day, and it's just like Captain America, and not anybody who takes the super soldier serum is Captain America. So that's where they're both wrong. Where they're both right is let me see.
I'm trying to get rid of my man's right.
I don't know, they're both a little selfish, and they don't just a little selfish, I think. But like in the grand scheme, they're only selfish when they're butting heads. But then when they team up, it's like, oh, forget it.
He kind of there's a sense of uncertainty with him at certain points of his movie because he doesn't know why Dr. Erskine chose him until like the third act. He realizes it. He realizes, okay, this is why he chose me. But there's some doubt. There's some like, am I just a lab experiment? Am I just this dancing monkey? Because that's where he came from. So, and then with Tony, sometimes he does look for the easy way out. Sometimes, so they're kind of right. They're not 100% right because Tony went in to fight terrorists and he has no military training because he saw kids that were in danger. So Tony can sacrifice his life. And we know Cap is smart. He's not just this grunt that can punch people.
Tony Stark was willing to throw away his whole family business in Iron Man 1 because he realized that they were weaponizing terrorism.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't care.
Yeah, at that point, like when he found out what his company was doing, low key or high key, however you want to look at it,
he didn't
found
care
out he
about
was
how much
going
money
to
he
take his whole company and put it down in the underground and just trash it. And
he was going to
willing
lose
do that.
hundreds of millions of dollars, and he didn't care because he realized it was going to hurt people. If he didn't do anything.
But that was only after the cave, though.
Yeah, that was after the cave.
Yeah,
If he didn't go to the
that was
cave, he would
after
have
the
kept
cave.
on.
But like, see, if it was, I agree, because like Tony Stark is not naturally like that. Like that's not really his default. It takes an event for him to kind of wake up a little bit. And I think the cave, until the cave, he was just like this self-absorbed guy. And yeah, that cave, he's just been since the cave, he's just been like bent on trying to do the right thing, even though he doesn't always know what the right thing is. But that's a good point because like he didn't grow up with any sort of like noble morals or anything like that. Like he was born into wealth. Like he's a billionaire. Captain America, from a young age, like Steve Rogers wanted to be in the army. He just wants to stop bullies. He wants to do the right thing. He has a very simple way of viewing life. I feel like him at the root of it all is what makes him Captain America. You give the right man the super soldier serum, forget it.
So, what'd you guys think of when Captain America,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think was I think it was a mistake on his part and not a good moment for him. Say, put on the suit, Tony. Let's go a few rounds. I'm like, okay, that sounds a bit arrogant. Cause Tony can fire missiles from his suit
Why would that be a
at like
mistake?
100 miles an hour.
Dude. Yeah, but if Tony starts grabbing his suit, Steve Rogers is grabbing his shield. Like, again, like Steve Rogers is not afraid of anyone. I don't think.
Yeah, but also that's pretty arrogant to be like you can't use your words to resolve this conflict. You're just gonna resort to fighting. That's very un-Steve Rogers like.
Well, that wasn't that the argument though. Like, what are you?
Yeah, but it just I don't know. To me, it's like children on the playground when the parents like, guys,
Oh,
sit
totally.
down and talk honestly about how you feel. Why are you resorting to violence?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Because the bottom line was mind control by Loki.
yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, that's true.
But see, here's the thing though. And we're gonna find out later. These are two alpha males in a room. This is what happens. They're gonna argue. They're gonna butt heads, and it's crazy because they're both on the same team. They're on the same mission, and they both really do agree with each other. They each one wants to one up the other, and I guess express dominance. And that's the natural order of things when there's always got to be an alpha. There's always got to be the guy biologically. And I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah, Tony said in Iron Man 2. That's what he said in Iron Man 2. Tony was like, "There's nobody that's been able to go against me on my best day." Everyone started cheering. Oh, I love that line.
I was gonna say, my man said Iron Man 2.
Anyway.
Yikes.
I said I love that line.
So
the line was dope.
So Coulson dies. Loki kills Coulson.
No!
He kills Coulson, and everybody's sad. Okay, and it is a sad time. I'm not trying to make a joke or anything, but it's. Oh boy, you okay there?
You got napkins? Did you bring a napkin?
Sorry, man. I just.
He got his glasses off and everything. He's like pouring one out for your homie.
I love Coulson. Pour one out. Pour some Asgardian liquor out.
Right.
The Asgardian wine.
For Son of Cold, man.
So he dies, and Nick Fury chooses to use this moment to spark something with the heroes, or at least those that are like left behind. Because at this point, Thor's out of the helicarrier, Hulk is out of the helicarrier. Black Widow and Hawkeye, they had a back and forth. They were fighting, and then like his head hit the some pole. I don't know. So he's somewhere. He's somewhere with.
He's sleeping.
He's taking a nap, and Black Widow is somewhere there. But then Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, again, these two alpha, they're there in the same lobby area, the main control center, and that's when Nick Fury is having this like talk with them. Basically, the famous line, "We had an idea," and to bring the heroes and blah blah blah, and build this group to fight the battles that they couldn't. Exactly. Yeah, you can quote that line day in and day out. But what I wanted to kind of talk about was what Nick Fury was doing and the word choice that he was using. Because I this time watching it, I noticed that he was using very specific word choice because he knew his audience. He knew who he was talking to. Because if you watch Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, you notice that in Iron Man, his theme is heroes, or just the phrase hero. He even says in Iron Man 1, he goes, "Hey, I'm not the hero type." And that theme keeps on going, whether or not he's a hero or not. And then Captain America, a man before his time, a man before his time, or old-fashioned or whatever. And Nick Fury uses both of those phrases. He basically says like, Avengers, who we need people to come together. We need people who are much greater than us. We need heroes, and that's when Tony Stark stands up and walks out of the room. And then right after that, he turns to Steve Rogers and he goes, "Well, I guess it's an old-fashioned notion." And it's like Nick Fury is like being very clever with this, even with the cards. Like the cards, those cards were not in Coulson's pocket, but he was trying to spur them on and do whatever it took to do that.
Wait, what'd you think of the falling argument after that? Because don't Cap and Iron Man argue about Coulson's death and what it meant? Yeah,
A little bit,
it
but I didn't think that argument was that big a deal. I think they had a difference.
Because they saw the blood and they were like,
they started talking about Loki.
Where did Loki go? Right? He stabs him and then he leaves to do what? So it was kind of like they're able to put that stuff aside and focus on, okay, let's find Loki. Well, finally, I bet Steve is throwing confetti. Like, finally, Tony, focus on Loki.
Finally, wake up.
I wonder if Nick Fury knew that the Captain would be back in time for all of this. Like when he considered this whole quote unquote Avengers movement, I don't even know if the Captain was, a part of that. Because he was originally considering Tony, right? The one who doesn't play well with others type.
He has backup plans on backup plans on backup plans.
I feel like Nick's always scheming though. He's probably had some sort of idea or even rushed.
His backup plans.
Like you have to, in order to be director of Shield, you have to. It's like the first question they ask is, "Do you have a plan Z?" Not a plan B.
No, yeah. You start with the very bare bottom.
Nah, you gotta have like a plan like M.
Nah, you gotta go A through Z. When you're dealing with Loki, you gotta go A through Z. Terrorists, you need to go to M.
Yeah, no, but the whole alphabet. What was I gonna say? I forgot.
Did we talk about all the heroes?
We almost did. We didn't talk about Hawkeye. We didn't talk about Black Widow, but that was deliberate.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah. Well, even going back to your what you brought up, Rob, about Nick's like selective word choice and stuff. Yeah, I think yeah, that was definitely a nod or a little nudge more so for Cap than anybody else because um yeah, it was especially when he said old fashioned because I think wasn't that what Coulson said to Cap when he was talking about, oh, like by the way, I got your suit ready or whatever when he was talking about that. And then he was talking about like, oh yeah, I think he mentioned something about it being a little bit old fashioned and stuff like that. So I feel like yeah, he just kind of took Coulson's words and knew maybe that connected with Cap, not just because okay, he's a man who's been asleep for 70 years, but also due to like maybe that conversation and so maybe that struck a chord with Cap in that moment. Yeah.
Because Coulson said
and then they're yeah, exactly. So it's like the training cards plus the old fashioned comment, like everything's just kind of like maybe making Cap think about it a little bit more deeply and pushing him to like basically initiate the group.
How did Nick Fury like say all that and not have something prepared? Like I'm pretty sure he has like a post-it note in his iPad or something.
Right?
Like I gotta say this, I gotta say this, I gotta say that. Like how do you just like casually just like bring that up? That takes some preparation. That man's scheming.
He has to, man. He don't got no powers. He got no powers, and he got to deal with Black Widow 24/7, man. Wait,
yeah, well,
dealing with Black Widow?
Is like in a sense that is his power.
Oh my god,
not have
that's
like
impressive ability right there, man.
The man's got gadgets though. The plane. Yeah, he got lots and lots
that
of
plane's
technology.
useful.
Wow.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Black Widow is yeah. He said it. He said it for me.
There he goes. Yeah, no, we're gonna have, no, we're gonna cover
Yeah.
Black. We're gonna talk about no. We're gonna. This is very very deliberate. So then we get to the third act of the movie, and this is where like the big team up. Everybody kind of gets it together. They rally together. They set aside their differences. Hulk or Bruce Banner shows up in a
Mhm.
moped, um, and
what, what was he wearing?
I don't know what he was wearing, bro.
He was just wearing whatever
Whatever that
he could
guy,
find.
whatever
He
that
just
he's
threw
like.
it on.
Are you an alien? No. Oh, then you have a condition. You
Yeah.
remember that scene?
Yeah, when he woke up like on the
Yeah.
ground.
But no, yeah. So the heroes they get together, and what was up?
Wait. Real quick, before we get there, what did y'all think of the Thor Hulk fight on the plane?
I thought it was okay. If I'm going to be honest.
I mean, I was upset that Hulk played into this whole hot mess. I was upset that he was destroying their good airplane as if they weren't millions of feet up in the air. Yeah, he was just a hot mess in that he was not helping the situation. Yeah, somebody had to subdue him.
No. I like the part where Thor hit him with Milner and he just got back up. I was like, bruh.
Oh, it's the Hulk, man. Or the part where sorry, no, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say the part where what was it? I think Hulk was trying to like do this like overhead punch or something, and when maybe I missed it, was he digging Thor in the ground? Or did I? Am I forgetting that?
No, he was trying to grab the hammer and the hammer kept
Got
digging into
you.
the ground.
Okay,
That's what.
that's right.
So
That's right. That's what I'm thinking about.
that solved a lot of debates and nerd comment sections where dudes have no
Yikes.
lives or
Yeah.
wives.
Yikes. Yikes. Yikes.
So they're like, who could Hulk pick up the hammer? Oh yeah, he could totally do it. Nah, man, no way. Issue 35, part 1. It says Hulk can do, but that's not the comics. This is a movie, so he can totally lift the hammer. Yeah, that got solved really
Yikes.
quickly. He couldn't lift it. Tell you, man, nerd comment sections, man. You talking about childish arguments? Go there and you'll witness it.
Right. So okay. So we get to the big fight on the third act, and what did we think of the Avengers finally getting it together, and we watched them working side by side, and I guess they're using their strengths and playing off each other's strengths in a very very smart way. What do you guys think of all that?
Yeah, no, once they get it together, it's like, man, that's dynamite. And I say that really because I feel like with the other movies we've watched so far, sometimes we can see like a decline in the final act, and like, and then we've kind of been experiencing that, like, oh well, everything else was hot, but he kind of dipped here in this last part. And so
Mm-hmm.
I love that that was the part where just like it just got really explosive, and we're just like, oh yeah, this is capturing my attention.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics look great. The way that the assists are happening, like my favorite thing was just having Iron Man's beams reflect off of Cap's shield, and like that was like, it was just awesome. So just some of those
Mm-hmm.
parts,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, the assists were just like, once they
Yeah,
got together,
yeah.
they really got together. And so I just
Mm-hmm.
love that dynamic. Hulk was snapping, he was
Right.
climbing up walls, like peeling Chitari's off the wall. Like he was snapped. And I think that was really cool.
Yeah.
He was crazy.
Hmm.
That man could jump. I always wondered about that. I always look at him like he's so big. Like, how's he gonna
Hey,
get up there? But he be flying.
homeboy, hey, he fooled you. Yeah, no, yeah, he is an NBA star. He's a track
Yeah.
star. Like he's all of it. He just fooled all of us. All right. You thought he
So
couldn't move?
fast.
Oh no, homie
Mm-hmm.
was moving. My gosh. And I
Right.
think that was really big for me just to get amazed at Hulk because in general, like Hulk is like one of my least, on the list. Like of if I were to choose my favorite, like he's a little bit lower on the list. So the fact that I got excited about Hulk and I'm like, yo, this man. Like so yeah.
I think
I
this
think that
movie
was
put
just
the Hulk
really
on the map.
yeah, it
He's
was awesome.
awesome.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always
Right.
angry. Oh, he's a beast. When we
Yeah.
get his first reveal in the movie, you know what's
Oh
crazy?
man.
We get a very early reveal of all the heroes, including Bruce Banner, but we waited. They made us wait
Yeah.
to see Hulk. And when he came through and was just destroying everything, even in this third act, he was
Right.
going ballistic.
Nuts.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh man,
My favorite moment of the movie is when he did the Loki.
Yes.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
Yes.
when he like takes Loki and just slams him.
Mm-mm.
Like,
he swung him
stop it,
around
you
like a rag.
beast! I'm a god. All of you people should worship, and then he just gets thrown left and
Just
right.
literally like a literal rag
And
doll.
then what did he say to
Yeah.
him after? Did he say puny god or stupid god? What did he say? Puny god.
Mm.
Puny God.
Puny god. Yeah. And then
Right.
walks
He's just like,
away. He
That's
swaggers
my
away. He
first
didn't
time
walk away.
seing him
He
walk.
swaggered away from Loki.
I never see Hulk walk. That's my first time seeing him after he demolishes a puny
I
god.
do
Yeah.
love to see everybody like when they get one good
Yeah.
panoramic
That was
shot of
dope.
the entire team together. I love to see that in every movie.
Oh, it's my favorite shot. It's
yeah.
epic. It's legendary. It's a legendary shot.
Yeah, I think too they successfully gave everyone, I think, a good amount of screen time. And they did it in a way where it didn't feel forced or annoying. It's like, oh, I'm seeing this person again, or oh, they're talking again. But everyone, I think, got justice and got great screen time. It also goes to show that like if this movie was terrible and it sucked, they probably wouldn't have made any of the movies that came after it. So it was cool to see them kind of really build up that universe, that world, all those heroes at once in this way. Um, because I don't think we would have gotten any other movies after that if this movie
You
was
know, what about
terrible.
that scene when finally they're all together and or after that panoramic, and then Tony goes like, "All right, Cap, call it," and Steve Rogers is just like, "Hey, I need you here. Hey, I need you here. I need you here, Thor. Hey, right where they're coming through in the wormhole, Thor, I need you at that tower, and I need you to just shoot them straight up. Hawkeye, I need you at a bird's eye view." And I love that part where like not Steve Rogers, Tony Stark grabs Hawkeye. He goes, "Okay, clench up, Legolas," and he just like takes him to the roof. It
Yeah,
was
that's funny.
so good,
Yeah.
so
He
Oh
good.
was
my gosh,
like,
I
I
love
think
that
Hawkeye
line.
gave a look like, "What are you talking?" Oh!
He didn't even. I don't even like. I remember being in the theater here, like
Yeah,
for
I
for
think
the
he was
first time,
about
and
to
I
say
didn't even
something.
catch what he said because it
Oh
happened
no,
so
I
fast.
caught it the very first
But it's
time.
so. That's my other thing that I like about Tony Stark.
Yeah.
What you say?
No, I said I caught it the very first time, and me and my like when I went with like my siblings and family, we were crying because we were all into the Lord of the Rings films. We watched them all together, so we were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like we were dying.
Yeah, that's the thing too with Tony Stark is like
Yes,
he's very big on references. Yeah, very big on references.
He
yes,
called
He'll shoot a
Thor
reference
Point
and you
Break.
won't even see it coming.
they're so good.
Yeah.
But actually going back to the little panoramic and looking at everybody pose. All right, because I gotta say it, and I need y'all to help me with this because okay now. Oh my gosh. I'm never gonna get over it. Okay. All right.
Wait,
Okay.
Elise,
Oh
hold
boy.
up. Before we get there, what did y'all think about?
No,
Because
Oh,
there's a
no. I
okay.
Loki
think
You
moment
want to
we
hit that
skipped
first?
over.
That's
We
what
skipped
were you
over
Talk
a
gonna
about it.
Loki moment when Loki confronts Iron Man
Well,
in
we
the
could talk
apartment
about how
that's
his
in the
suit leveled
penthouse.
up. Did you see how it came
That's
off
before the third act.
outside by itself and then it brought itself back? His technology just gets more and more better.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool.
What did you guys think of when Tony said we have a Hulk? Like he wasn't afraid of Loki at all, even though he had
I
no
mean,
armor on.
it was another back and forth, um,
Okay.
and it was just trying to make Loki understand, like, hey, do you get that what's happening here? Like, you don't. There's no plan. There's no way. Nothing in your plan says that you're gonna win. Um, yeah, it was.
Well, it's not. He was saying they were gonna. He was basically saying he was gonna kill Loki. Like even if the Earth is conquered by the army, like all six of the Avengers were gonna
Yeah,
try to kill Loki. They were gonna avenge
right,
Coulson.
right.
Hence the
But
name
you notice,
Avengers.
right? I don't know if you picked up on it, and I'm just now thinking about it now. Tony Stark names all of the Avengers, and there is someone he does not mention, and I think that's who Elise is trying to allude to.
No, he does mention the person. He doesn't mention himself,
No, no, no,
Sean.
no, no,
Right?
no,
See,
no, no,
he
no. That's
humbled
not who
out.
I'm
He
talking
didn't
about.
mention himself. He didn't. He does mention
The one who
No,
must
he
not.
who
does
I'm talking
not.
about.
Is that what
He
No, he
mentions
does
both of
not.
them. Yeah, he
Oh,
does.
he
A
okay,
couple of
yeah, a couple
master
assassins.
assassins.
Yeah,
A
yeah, yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
master
Great usage.
assassins. He
Okay,
doesn't mention
okay,
himself.
yeah,
He ends by mentioning
right,
Coulson.
right.
So he
But
humbled out.
okay, okay, but they're not even worth mentioning by name.
But the bigger thing is and he also said, "Call it, Cap." He said, "All right, Cap, you do your thing, brother. You lead the show."
Okay, so
So Iron Man humbled himself.
Yeah. You know, all right. All right. Because every single time, it just boggles my mind and I don't get it. But okay. Anyways, yeah. Anywho. So all right. So we established, right? Okay, they are fighting otherworldly beings, aliens, right? Right. So you need
yeah,
Yep.
something with some to fight said creatures,
hmm
right?
yep,
And
right.
we
Said creatures.
right. So we have established that like guns don't really work on said otherworldly beings, correct?
Nope.
So okay,
Nope. 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 Nope.
so now when we get when we got them all gathered, they're posing and looking cool. Now why?
Oh boy. Oh, this is okay.
Why is Black Widow holding a gun? What was that for? What was that pose for?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
The
I don't
gun
get it.
thing. There were actually scenes too, where they get down to business where she's like, there's scenes with her kind of closed up and she's shooting, and I'm like, okay, you don't even show me what she's shooting. What is she accomplishing here? So I don't like those scenes. Like, she just shooting her handguns for it to do nothing. What you trying to hit the bus? Like, what are we doing? Like, no matter
Right.
how many times I watch the scene, I'm like, yo, they really just had her. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if
she
you
she
saw
picks up a
Poe,
Chitauri weapon. She picks up a Chitauri weapon, and that's the only time we see her actually shooting a Chitauri.
Yeah.
right?
And hitting them.
It's the only time. Anytime she shoots with a gun, she doesn't. You know, she doesn't. We don't see her hitting anything.
Exactly. That's when she started to have a little bit more use when she realized, oh snap, my little guns don't do nothing. Like, I gotta improvise. Why she didn't just stand
Mm,
there? Like, I mean, she could have just posed. She didn't have a weapon. Maybe she could just pose, do something cute, like whatever, and then we'd be like, yeah, you ready to go? Let's go,
I
Black
bet if
Widow.
she did that, y'all would have came for her anyways. She had
Oh,
these
I would
times.
have.
Yeah, that would
No,
have worked the
wait,
least. What she should have did.
I don't know. She
She
doesn't
should have
fit
had
her
some
way.
kind of like electric staff or something. Like, don't Shield got
I'm
technology?
sure Shield got
Shield
something.
got
Electric
Shield got to have
staff.
something.
What?
I'm saying, what's better, a gun or a staff that at least?
Here's the thing. Okay, let's rewind. Let's rewind a second since we're talking about her. Earlier in the movie, she's in the jet with Captain America and Iron Man and Thor takes Loki, flies off. Iron Man chases after them, and she turns to Captain America and she goes, "You should sit this one out. They're basically
Right.
gods. Fast forward to the third act of the movie. Where is she? Not sitting out.
Is she up in there with everybody else?
Not only are there like these intergalactic
All I'm
beings,
saying
but it's
is
never ending.
Captain forgot
What
the
are her
memo
bullets
to
gonna
tell
do?
her to go
She could have
direct
borrowed some
traffic.
of
That's
Hawkeye's
all.
arrows.
She needs to go spy something real quick and stop being in
She needs to go spy something. she needs, she needs to
or
go
something.
undercover
I
as
don't
a
know.
Chitauri.
At least she should have pulled a you. She should have been like, "Yo, Hawkeye, can you swing me a couple of them arrows, brother? Like we homies, right?"
Yo, give me one of those arrows, something. Because at least Hawkeye was useful. Hawkeye was just getting them.
Yo, he was shooting
But wait, what
blindfolded.
instructions did Captain give her? I don't remember.
Nothing.
So then he should have told her to go direct traffic. He should have said something.
So, you know what? I think the more I think about it, and y'all can tell me if you agree with this, I think
I agree.
it's partially it's partially the fault of someone at Shield or Nick Fury. And hear me out. Hear why I say this.
And you gonna blame
Right.
Nick Fury?
You're trying to assemble a team, a response team against otherworldly things. So y'all was working on these destroyer
Yeah.
guns. Why you ain't hook up homegirl with some destroyer handguns or something?
Yo, that would have
Seriously.
been smart.
A proto be like,
It makes sense, right?
even if it was a prototype, be like, Nick could have been like, yo, here are these handguns
Right.
for you. I know you like handguns. I don't know if they really work, but try it out. Because your regular
I
guns
feel
ain't
so
gonna do that.
Nick Fury, in his infinite wisdom, knew not to give her
Oh my
anything
gosh.
extra because she is extra.
Yo,
Oh,
that's a bird.
He only hired her
Oh my
because
God.
of pity and her like ledger is red or whatever.
For some spy stuff that he needs. That's it.
Or maybe he holds our hate, the fans' hate in his heart, and he's like, oh, maybe she
Are you
might die
upset,
this time.
Cooper?
Oh,
true.
snap.
That's it. That's it. She's
Bruh,
optimistic.
No.
Lisa Fergie going hard.
I really don't want her to die. I'm sorry. That was too.
She's
I'm
a
sorry.
part
I
of the
went too
team,
far.
yeah.
I agree with you, though. So.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe. I mean, she could have. You know,
They done
we could
murdered
swap
her
her out
off.
for Coulson. You know.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
I would have seen Coulson. I would have liked to see Coulson with that big old gun trying to shoot at Loki.
Exactly. Coulson would
Coulson
never.
had no business being in that area that he was in, to be honest.
Yeah,
You know better.
Even Coulson,
same
yeah.
with her.
That's true. Seriously. Wait, so hold on. Time out. I just realized something. Why is so Coulson doesn't need to
Right.
be there, should not be there, gets killed using a destroyer weapon. The prototype. Here's Black Widow in the middle of Chitauri and alien invasion and Loki and all that.
Right.
No destroyer weapon, no intergalactic weapon, and she survives.
It's a mess.
I don't get with a handgun. With handguns.
Man.
Plot.
I don't get
We're
that.
gonna be asking that question in many more podcasts, Rob. Blankety,
Maybe,
blankety,
man,
blank,
maybe.
blank, and she survives. I don't get that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think this leads us to our next segment, which Rinaldi and I dub
A little R&R.
This was a very bold movie. To get characters that growing up we didn't really care about, heroes that we now admire, to get them on the same screen and have them all play their part. But there's one character in this movie that, looking back over and over and over again, I always come back to my same conclusion. Why is she here? What is she doing in this movie? I'm talking about you, Black Widow. I'm talking about you. You know, in this movie, you don't play much of a big role. Yeah, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time when Bruce Banner turns into Hulk. And yeah, maybe you got on one of the Chitauri rides and steered him into a wall or something. I don't know. You've done a few things, but what have you done in this movie that not another character couldn't do? And on top of that, you don't have great dialogue. You were not written very well. Oh, I got red in my letter. Oh, boo-hoo, you got red in your letter. Oh man, that's no father issues. That's not an accident. that turned you into a hero that you have to regret and hang on to for the rest of your life. You got red in your ledger. I'm sorry. Oh, how was that a party? It's not funny. Oh, well, why are you calling me a moron? You're just giving me everything, Coulson. Yeah, Coulson, you should... Just shut up. You're not funny.
That's what she sounds like.
You're just not funny. Which brings me to the real issue of this movie. You know, normally Marvel movies have an issue with villains. This movie did not have that issue. In fact, it was Black Widow. And I blame Joss Whedon. Historically, Joss Whedon does not write women in a very, very heroic and a strong way. He does not. He pins them as sexual type. He pins them as eye candy for teenage boys that are growing zits and still going through puberty. And that seems to be the audience he's trying to capture. But as far as writing a woman that is compelling, Joss Whedon cannot do that. My solution is either to fire Joss Whedon or keep Joss Whedon and leave women out of your movies.
Well, Rob, I feel like all of this energy you're expelling on Black Widow is purposeless because she's half a character. She's not a full character. A character has an arc, a journey, a lesson learned. Cap learned to embrace the new world of the future after being asleep for 70 years. He embraced the idea that he still has a purpose in such a new world that is not old-fashioned. Iron Man learned that he doesn't have to focus so much on his ego. He can learn to trust other people to get the job done. All these other characters have journeys and things that they've learned and moments that we celebrate as they learn these things, such as Bruce Banner learning to control his anger so that we can celebrate when he says, I am always angry, and when he smashed Loki into little pieces. Black Widow does not have this type of moment at all, so therefore she is not a character. She's half a character. But she does one thing very important, something that maybe Shawnette will smile about. She helps develop Hawkeye, who spent 75% of the movie brainwashed, devoid of a character arc. But when Hawkeye turns to Black Widow and says, don't worry, I trust you even though you have red in your ledger, it was the beginning of a few cool Hawkeye moments, such as when he fired the arrow at Loki and he caught it, but it blew up in Loki's face. That was a great moment. And that moment would have no meaning if Hawkeye didn't motivate himself out of concern for his friend Black Widow. So thank you, Black Widow, for being a plot device. A plot device that helps us care about Hawkeye. At least you did something right. Kudos to you.
Yeah, I don't think that Black Widow. I mean, I see your point, Rinaldi. I just don't think. I think everything that she did to help move a part of the plot, somebody else could do it. What made her special?
No, you're right. You're right.
Doesn't
But
stand out.
I'm just talking about what we see. But you're right.
I know you're looking at it from a positive view. It's like, okay, we don't want to like throw her character away completely.
She's not a character.
Here's
She's
my
a
thing.
plot device.
That's it. She's bailed. So that's my other thing too. That's the other thing too, is that this is her second movie. There's got to be a character arc somewhere, and we don't see it. We don't see
the
it.
solo movie, brother. It's coming out next year, right?
We get that, but 25 years later. No, 25 years later, we get finally getting a character arc for Black Widow.
To be fair,
but we don't get a Hawkeye movie yet.
We need a Hawkeye.
Yeah, that was a shame because the brother was firing at Chitauri. He wasn't even looking at him.
No, he was boss.
He wasn't even looking at him. He was like this. He was like,
Even that scene where he shoots at Loki.
Oh yeah, that was clever, man. That's how you do the whole, hey, I don't have any superpowers, but I'm gonna make it work. That's how you Black Widow. You gotta learn from this brother right here, man. You gotta get some advice.
Look, Black Widow. Look, this is my thing about Black Widow in this movie and other movies that she's in. She is just as useless as bringing a pistol to an alien invasion fight. She's just as useless as that. Like, her involvement in the fight is her being as useless as she is in these movies.
She was there for moral support.
Okay, Shauna, there's one ray of hope, Shauna. She could maybe. She could be better. She could be better. We don't know. We haven't gotten to the other movies on this podcast yet. So there is a very small possibility in my opinion, but a possibility that she could be better. I don't know if that helps Shauna. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you want us all to rot in a pit with the Hulk. I don't know, but you never know. We haven't gotten to the rest of the movies, Rob. She could be better.
It was pretty stale all throughout. Even her intro scene was
I'm concerned about this movie. If she's not good, this is my second time seeing her. I care about more characters. I care about Coulson more than I care about her. I do. I care about Coulson more. You remember that final scene when we're seeing like newscasters report on the battle and like the aftermath, and that one woman who came on the screen and she goes, "Captain America saved my life." I care more about her than I care about.
That's a little too far. She's not even a real character.
I care more about her. She had more character development than both of the movies.
Rob,
that Black Widow was in.
You really tried to discourage Shawnette. She's not even a real character.
I'm not trying to discourage Shawnette. This is Black Widow we're talking about. She had no character development.
Yeah, you're right, but
what does she even add to the story, though? If she was gone, it wouldn't impact the movie at all.
But then what's Hawkeye's role in the story? What does he do?
Are you serious? Look at what
his connection. But his connection is to her.
He has the skills. No. Because you're also missing the first half of the movie where Loki uses him.
Right.
Yeah, but who's gonna talk to him after getting brainwashed?
And with the other characters.
Any character.
Selfish Tony Stark.
Literally any of the other characters.
Tony Stark is gonna
could be Nick Fury. It could be Nick Fury. It could be Agent Hill. It could be any other character.
Captain America and trying to pump him up. You don't got time.
All she did was give him a 2-piece to the dome, and he.
Are you saying her main role is to talk to him? That's her only use is just to talk?
Yes, that's it. That's all she does. Talk to him. That's it. I'm not saying it's great.
I'm email. Just saying
that's how she.
I wish I had that kind of superpower where I can like talk someone out of something.
I never said it was great. I said she's half a character. That was the beginning of my rant.
She's barely a quarter of a character. This is her second movie.
I know.
Yeah, the point is that she's replaceable because when she woke up, all she did was like, smack Hawkeye and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm back. And she's like not even she doesn't really have powers. Like imagine, it would have been effective with anyone else who got the power, did a bam. Like he would have remembered what he had for breakfast as a 2-year-old that somebody else.
He's distraught because he killed.
If that's what it took, Hulk could have just flipped his forehead and he could just, oh man, where am I?
Hawkeye tried to kill Nick Fury and Maria Hill. You don't think he's distraught? You don't think he's in his feelings? What if you try to kill me? You would feel a certain type of way, Rob.
This is an aimless conversation. You know why? Oh, this is an aimless conversation. You know why? Because you agree with me 100%. I know you do.
No, I agree with you 99%.
Wow, that's enough.
That's enough for me, man. That's enough for me. Your 1% cannot hold this conversation.
Yeah, but my whole point. This is my whole point. Okay, and it's not a big thing in the movie, but the dude wakes up, right? And he realizes, wow, I killed a bunch of innocent people, and I don't know how to deal with that. Who's talking to him in that situation to get him to that third act where he can fire the arrow at Loki? Other than Black Widow, who's gonna do that? Iron Man's selfish. Cap don't know him. Coulson's dead. Maria Hill only said 3 things in this entire movie, so that's not gonna work. And Nick Fury's busy with that.
Sounds like you got to give someone else some more lines.
Wait, so Tony's gonna act out a character and play Patty Cake?
No, I didn't say that. You literally mentioned a character that only had 3 lines.
Okay, so
you take out Black Widow in this movie.
Maria Hill?
You leave more time for yeah. Okay, you leave more time for her.
I love Maria Hill, so we can do that. I love her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and she should get more screen time.
Everything you just explained, is it. All of that is just character interaction.
So Maria Hill could.
That's all that is. It's character. Maria Hill can
Can't talk
absolutely
to
do that.
Hope.
If you
Give her
It
more.
if
wouldn't be the
if
Get
same.
Colby
Okay.
Schmolders is a good actress. I like her in How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Colby
okay, but yeah, we're not even talking about that yet. But
Colby
like,
Schmolders can
but
top the Hulk.
wait, but no, but so Rinaldi, everything you just said
Yeah,
Makes
is
for a good
just
movie.
character development and character interaction.
yeah,
With enough writing, makes for a good movie,
Yeah.
right? It with you take Black Widow out of that scene, everything out of the whole movie. You put Hill or whoever really, and you write them according to their character. The same thing can be accomplished.
yeah. You kind of won me over.
It's the same thing.
Sorry, Shawnette. I tried.
The same thing can be accomplished. She
Yeah.
is useless in
I
this
tried,
movie.
Shawnette. I gave it the Captain America effort.
The Chitauri. Look, listen,
Yeah.
bro. I'm just
Nah,
gonna
you
sum
won me
this up
over.
in this.
You
I'm
won
gonna
me
sum
over.
this up this way.
Rob, you won me
No,
over.
no. I'm gonna sum it up. I'm gonna sum this up this way, bro.
Yeah,
If the Chitauri, okay, so we live in Boston.
yeah.
If the Chitauri or an alien invasion came crashing down and started destroying Boston,
Yeah.
I am not calling Black Widow.
No,
Black Widow, where are you? I am not calling Black Widow.
For
I'm gonna
anything.
call
I'm
Hawkeye
not doing that.
first.
I'm
For her.
not. I'm calling Hulk. I'm calling Captain America. I'm calling Iron Man. I'm calling these other guys.
Yeah.
I'm not calling Black Widow because I know that Black Widow is going to bring pistols, and we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of Jatari. I'm like, yo, we need bigger guns for this.
Yeah, you won me over.
Haters.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Go back to whatever spy cave you came out of.
Whoa.
But you know, there are some Black Widow fans that they big up the scene where she reverse interrogated Loki. Except all that did was lead to the argument with the scepter, which turned Banner into the Hulk anyway. So it's not like that led to anything either.
See, I think it's partly the actor, or sorry, the actress.
Same thing.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's how she portrays the character. It's small things that she does. It's not
Yeah.
these overall bringing a pistol to an alien fight. That's one big thing. Is like, why are you doing? Why do you feel like you belong? That makes no sense to me.
That makes
But-
no sense.
Yeah, but then like these small like little nuanced things like random jokes that she like I mentioned it earlier, but when Tony Stark says like, "Hey, okay, great, Hulk is there. I'm bringing the party to you," and he brings the Jatari big weapon thing or whatever, and she goes, "How is that a party? You're not funny. You're just not.
The way she
Everybody
tilts her
else on
head-
this cast is funnier than you." What was that?
The way she tilts her
Yo,
head,
y'all are nitpicking.
like she's
Leave the
trying.
girl
It's
alone.
like she's doing the whole like I'm a human
The
being.
way she tilts her head.
No. Let me. We're telling the truth. No, because here's the thing. That sells the humor. Is the body language sells the humor? Like when Tony swags onto the ship, that sells half the jokes in that scene.
You sold.
He's
Yeah.
swagging on. He's like walking in there like he lives there. That sells
I'll
half
let
the
this
jokes
argument rest.
in that scene. So when she tilts her head, like what's going on? This is weird. Like it's like that whole, which is weird because Colby Schmolders did that in How I Met Your Mother. So that kind of frustrates me. That was half her jokes in that TV show. She would tilt her head and be like, I forgot the characters' names, but the big guy, he was like, "Why are you doing that?" And it would be funny. But when Black Widow does it, she's like, "Wait, but why are you bringing that to Chari and calling it a party? It's not funny. It's not funny. It's funny.
It's just not convincing. It's annoying. It's like you're trying to be funny.
There are characters in the future movies that do those type of jokes and they work better, but we're not there yet. So we'll when we get there, it'll be a little bit more clear why it's not working with her. By comparing,
Well, it's not working in this movie.
no, it's not working in this movie.
It didn't work in the last
But
movie. It's not working. You can't even.
But there's some stubborn folks.
So
man.
bringing
They're
a
gonna
pistol to
die
an
on the
alien
ship
fight
with
is
her.
not
They're
funny.
gonna
It's not
the ship
funny.
sinking. They ain't gonna hop off
And
it.
watching it on panoramic view, it's not funny.
That's not. I mean, if you're trying,
It's unintentionally funny. It's unintentionally funny. Because at least at a
it's
point,
funny. It's one of those jokes where it's like we're laughing
I
at
think
you.
we should have had more scenes like in the beginning where she's like with other spies doing spy stuff because I'm like that's her area of expertise. Just stick. But showing up for an alien
Yeah.
invasion with pistols is not going to do anything. She should hang out with Pepper somewhere to make sure everyone has all the supplies they need or something.
yo,
But-
her and Pepper were vibing in Iron
Your
Man
girl
2.
Right,
could have
yeah, she's-
directed traffic. Again,
So,
they misused her.
so,
Exactly. Drag Cabot or something.
so Fergie,
Just do something different.
what I heard you say is that basically she should have been an admin assistant. Is that what I just heard you say?
No,
You
Absolutely.
said make
I
sure they got the
literally
supplies.
kind of liked Black Widow when she was an admin assistant in Iron Man 2. Kind of.
Yeah,
I gave her a
that's
C
basically
minus.
what I heard her
I
say.
gave her a C
Like,
minus.
just be on your
Right.
side, make sure people are set. You need to write the meeting minutes down. Is that what
The
I?
fight minutes.
Meeting minutes.
She needs to. She
No,
needs to be a secretary
what about the
or like,
briefings? She
yeah,
could
do
do the
admin
mission
work or something.
briefings.
But like,
That's what they do in
if
the
like,
spy movies. Yeah. Hey,
see,
this is
that
our
makes sense.
target.
See, that
It's in
makes
New
sense for
York.
Black
We
Widow.
need this and we need that and we need this. This is yeah.
More like, hold up. That's a great idea. More like, we got an attack on New York. Loki's coming. Cap, what's the move?
Bro.
No, I mean it. Like, what is she doing, barking orders and telling people
Well,
where
no,
they
no,
should
no,
be at?
no.
That's
This
Captain
is
America.
before they leave to go to New York. They're still on the helicarrier, and she's doing X, Y, and she's not giving orders per
Right.
se. She's saying this is these are the details. And then when Cap gets to New York, he can give the orders.
Oh man.
That's how they do it in the military.
That's kind of how they work. Those two are like a little tag team. Her and Captain
Yeah,
America.
they're both soldiers.
They kind of do that.
Yeah. I think he keeps her around for pity.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Hater.
possible. It's possible. I can see it.
Dang.
What can we do better? What can we do better? What can we do better for Black Widow?
Not have her in there.
Y'all could hire another producer, another
let's
director, reuse her appropriately.
Yeah, Mila, at least girl
They have a talented human being who could do something.
What can we
And
do
they
better?
just
Not having this movie. Yeah, I don't know. But so here's the thing, though. Here's my problem with this is that it's a mix of the actress and the writer. Because this writer, or the director, sorry, the director does not know how to
that's true.
have women in his movies. He really does not. So it's like,
I was gonna say, Joss Whedon wrote and directed the film.
yeah, so he wrote. So yeah, he does not know how
It's
to
not
write
her
for a
fault.
woman. So
It is
maybe
faulty.
it's not her fault. Maybe it's just the writing. But the body language, I don't know if you can write body language. I think that's where the actress
Actually,
can come
they
in.
could. They could be like, screenshot, move to the left,
Exactly.
rewind, do that a little bit slower.
All right, so Shawnette, this is what you need to do. This is what you need, Shawnette. You need to find Joss Whedon's email and write him an angry letter like, "Yo, why you do my girl like that?"
Yo, y'all are not having this. Y'all gonna take this L real quick.
I think you make a good point. And I think if that's what the final product is usually the best cuts of what people do. So if that's your best cuts, that
Mhm.
means she must have had a lot of NGs or something wasn't right. Or maybe they just were trying to flatter her like, yes, Scarlett.
Yes, Scarlett.
Yeah, let's do
Yes,
this.
Scarlett.
I don't know. I don't know what happened here. So yeah, I don't know.
I honestly, okay. I'm just gonna because I know everybody's probably, our listeners are probably thinking this. I don't know, but I think there's literally only one main reason why they hired her to be Black Widow, and it's because she looks good to some men in that.
No, there's a second reason.
What's the second reason?
Some women view her as a role model. I've seen it on the internet. When we get
That's right.
Who? How old are these women?
She's the greatest Asian
She's a
actor of our
what?
time. I forgot.
Fergie, I'm
She's the
gonna send you
greatest
some
Asian
blog
actor of all
posts
time.
Fergie,
The best.
keep your email open. There's some blogs, especially one about a particular moment in a future Marvel movie. We'll get to it, but I will send it to you. You can read it because these people exist. They exist and they are women, and they think they're with Shawnette. Shawnette should meet
Well,
these
I don't
women.
remember seeing the survey.
It missed me.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but show me these things.
Yeah, where did the survey come from? I was gonna ask the girls, like, okay, if she's a role model, how do you see her as a role model to women? Maybe not to you specifically.
I'm googling it right now.
She could be
Okay, so
like
she
a
doesn't even
health
know.
and
She's
fitness
Googling it.
coach.
You see, Ronaldo, you got three women
I
on
can't
this thing.
give details because then it's spoilers for future movies. We gotta wait until we get to Phase 3. But there's some stuff.
So far,
Oh, sure, but
the best
hold on.
role
What were you
model
saying,
we
Figgy?
have is
Oh yeah,
Peggy.
he was good.
That's it. She
Yeah.
is smart.
Peggy
She
Carter.
is
Mm-hmm.
strong. She can hold her own.
Yeah.
She's pretty. She hits all those boxes. I don't know what's going
Yeah.
Anyway, she could have been a life fitness coach.
on.
Yeah.
Could have been like, I'm just saying, he could say women who work in the military as well.
The reason why she was casted was for one reason and one reason only, so that like teenage boys can watch her in that costume.
I know, but I think I'm not necessarily talking about Joss Whedon because we know Joss Whedon's reputation, his MO. We get, I'm
Sure.
talking more about the
Sure.
producers because they're more looking at the big picture because this is a brand, so it's like a marketing and like I said, I think they thought they could be wrong, maybe they were mistaken, but they thought women thought she was a cool action hero type of character that they could buy.
She was relevant.
And
Yep.
and when we get to Phase 3, there's a ton of women freaking out and being like, "Oh, Black Widow's awesome!" And I'm telling you, bro, there's so many blog posts. I will send them. You will laugh your butt off, man, because they don't make no sense. They don't make any sense.
Yeah, but again, you can do that with any casting.
Nah, man.
You literally, yes, you can. You can do that with almost any casting because I don't think Scarlett Johansson was the only popular actress at that time.
Again, they could be totally off base, and they probably are because I don't like her in these movies. But I'm just saying that's their thinking. I'm just telling you what they believe.
Right.
They could be
What I'm
100%
saying
wrong.
is, if that was their thinking, then they missed out on like 50 other
They were wrong.
actresses that can probably
They
do the
made
part well.
They screwed up.
So no, hold on. So the reason why, I'm just telling you, the main reason, number one, that may have been a second and third reason, but the main reason is to put her in the costume and have young boys.
Yeah. That's the main reason.
But my
That's the
thing
main
is,
reason.
how many people actually casted for this? Do we have like a
Yeah.
poll who
Yeah.
auditioned?
There's a
great question.
list. There's a list of women that wanted the role.
Who are some
Really?
good
I need
actresses?
to see this list.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
Go ahead, Fergie.
Because I'm thinking, all right, so what if we put Halle Berry in it?
Oh,
The
no.
X-Men look is not really the look I'm trying to get for this movie.
No Halle.
I don't like Halle Berry.
Like, and I think about, okay, if they could have chosen somebody like Megan Fox, but then again, she already
The
killed
worst.
the whole Transformers thing.
Yeah, my grade would
So,
have down to a B minus if she was in that movie.
Okay, ready for this?
Okay, here we go.
All right. Back when Marvel first cast Black Widow, though Johansson wasn't even the first choice, here are the 7 other women who were in the running for Black Widow.
alright.
All right. Number 1, Angelina Jolie. Bang. There's that.
Yeah.
2, Jessica Biel.
Don't they? I
See it.
confuse those two all the time, actually.
She's 7th Heaven. Jessica
Yeah,
Biel.
but they remind me of each other somehow.
Number 3, Natalie
A
Portman.
little bit different.
Whoa!
I was not gonna take that girl.
Interesting.
No,
No,
that's an N-O. You don't got it.
Interesting.
man.
Number 4, Jessica Alba. Even worse.
No. Wow.
Number 5, Emily Blunt.
Oh, what is this list?
She was in A Quiet Place.
Okay.
She married Jim from The Office.
Okay. All right, I can see it. That's a better choice.
Yeah,
She was also.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Did you guys see that movie with
really good in
I
that
think with was it Tom Cruise, Day After
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, she
I think it
played
was.
serious roles.
Oh
If
yeah,
you
she
guys
really
seen
did.
Sicario, that was a really good
I got it
movie.
mixed up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt was Marvel's first choice,
Yeah.
and she turned it down. And she was
She's hilarious.
also
Yeah, she's the best one.
she
out
was
of this.
also she passed on playing Agent Carter.
Bruh,
Oh.
dang.
Wow.
Oh wow. She could have been
Yeah.
the person from the UK to do it too. Oh wow. Huh. They were really trying to get her.
Yep. Number 6 was Gemma Adderton. She was in
Oh wait, hold on. That name sounds
she
so
was in
familiar.
that Prince of Persia movie.
Oh, nah.
Maybe.
And last but not least,
I think she would
Nah,
kill it.
Emily's
Elijah Dushku.
Oh, I like Elijah Dushku, but she's not as well
Yeah, she would
known
kill
though.
it.
okay.
who is she from?
She's in like a lot of cult favorites.
She was in.
She's in Buffy. She's in a bunch of shows.
Um, yeah, exactly. Because Joss Whedon
Huh.
directed Buffy, she would be a good choice for that. She's excellent. She has that like cool girl vibe.
That's so
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and she
yeah.
did
She could
like
kill it.
spy stuff too
But she
at some
turned it
point.
down though. She turned it
Mm,
down.
yeah. So you mean to tell me,
Scarlett Johansson was
dang.
second best. No disrespect to Elijah Dushku, but she's not as well known as Scarlett. So out of that whole list, it's Scarlett because Emily was like, "Nah, I'll pass."
But do you need a well-known actor?
You can make the argument that you don't need one because look at Thor, look at Loki, look at some of the other characters who weren't like
Yeah, that's a good
huge
point.
until
Maybe you take the risk.
MCU.
They should have took the risk. Went with Elijah Dushku.
But what risk? It's Black Widow. What risk are they taking with Black Widow?
Right.
It's such a
It's
low
a low
risk. You can
risk.
hire like even the worst out of the list that Fergie just read off. You would still have great potential because you're not working from any standard. You're not working from
Nah,
anything.
I don't trust some of these women on this list.
I don't trust them either.
Elijah
I
Dushku,
agree. I agree.
Elijah
There's some of them I was
Dushku,
like,
all day,
nah.
every day. Let's go.
Yeah, I like that. I like that
She
one.
can do most of her own.
Elijah. Is that her name? Elijah. Eliza.
Eliza.
Yeah, she
Eliza
can do
Dushku.
most of her stunts.
Yeah.
Most of them. Uh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke. She's not an Alias. She was in Dollhouse, which coincidentally created by Joss
Yeah,
Whedon.
Dollhouse was sick.
It was created by Joss Whedon, it says.
And Buffy, she was in Buffy too. She was in Buffy.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I misspoke on that.
and she could probably do a better job delivering those jokes, or maybe just rewrite the jokes, or maybe she would tell Joss Whedon because they're homies. Yo, brother, you need you need to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
No, I think we missed a huge scene. We never talked about Loki. With his entrance, with his staff and the kneel before me and all that.
I was gonna say, I think the only thing that I realized while rewatching is that his ideology kind of is somewhat Hydra-esque. Like when he asked everyone to kneel
And he's
before
a villain.
him, and it
We
was
didn't
like, "Oh,
talk,
this is your
well, a
natural
villain,
position." I
not
was
the
like, "Oh,
villain.
Hydra!" Like it just, like I was watching last night, like, "Oh, snap, that's interesting." So that's like the
Mm,
only thing that I think I could mention that I
yeah.
that we didn't really put in there, but I feel like we covered.
Hmm.
Well, the Red Skull read about Loki though. He read about all those. Well, he thought they were. Well, he read about all those gods,
Oh, that's
and so
oh,
that
hey,
was
yeah,
in
there
a
it
weird
is.
way. He probably it's like he's a disciple of
Mm.
Loki, because he read about the
Oh,
Thor and Loki, and
Wow.
he researched the Tesseract, and that's how he was able to find it.
ah,
So it's almost like Loki was
There it
teaching the Red
is.
Skull.
there it is. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's the connection. I didn't even think about it that way. I was just like, oh, yeah, I
He
was just like,
even
oh,
said,
Hydra, but it's like, no,
he
Loki.
even said, Captain America, we are more than men,
Hmm.
but yet you act as a
Oh man.
simple soldier.
This is
It's your
Avengers
power.
featuring Red Skull.
You must embrace it. You are like a god. I do it proudly, with no fear. No, but Loki's the same way. Loki, he has power, and so he believes he should rule over
Yeah.
everybody.
Right. Then I picked up on that last night. I'm like, oh, hold it.
Well, yeah, there's so much we could talk about in this movie. The movie definitely sets up for the future of the MCU.
Wait, one thing. I have a trivia question. We'll do that instead.
Oh,
Oh man.
Trivia. So get it
okay.
right,
Hmm.
and I might
Why
Venmo
are you
you
threatening
something. I'm
us right
playing.
now?
I don't have. I'm broke.
Dang, we could use it though, bro.
No,
Nah,
maybe
hold it,
I'll Venmo
Okay.
10 bucks. You
you.
sound like you need
Maybe
it.
I'll Venmo you $10. How about we do that?
You sound like
Get
you need it.
something to eat. No, I don't need 10,
Dang.
$10. I can handle $10.
I'll
That's
take
so
it.
much.
I'll take it.
How about some
So, but you
candy?
gotta get it right. You gotta get it right. So, out of the 4, I guess, quote unquote, powered Avengers, which one was not in the Avengers issue number 1 that came out in the 60s? Which one was not in the group? So 3 of them
Oh,
were
I'm out
in
of
the
this one.
original number 1 issue of the comic, and one of them wasn't. If you can pick the one that wasn't in the group, you win. Now, to avoid some confusion, y'all gotta text me your answer, and then I'm
Oh
gonna read it.
boy,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna read
read
it
it
out
Bruh.
loud.
for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So y'all got like 60
They will
seconds.
text you.
What if I Google it?
Wait, are you googling cheater?
You got 60
No.
seconds. I'm Googling honor
Okay.
system, guys. Honor
I thought
system.
you.
We gotta be like Cap. We gotta be
Hey
like Cap.
Google.
We gotta have integrity. Okay, thank you for your answer.
So the one that
Yep, the
wasn't
one
in
that
the
was not in the
original
original
and
in the
number
comic
one.
books in the that came out in the 60s. Issue number 1.
Oh no, I feel like I take it
Dang, this is a
back.
good one,
Wait,
bro.
it's
This is
sending
a really good
already.
one.
Oh. Oh no, I feel like I'm wrong. I'll stand by it. I feel like I'm wrong. Yo, blink, blink, one time with your right eye. If I got it right.
Yo,
I'm s-
honestly, I don't even know if I got it right. I don't even know that answer. Holy crap.
Send me your answers. You got 10. 10,
I feel like I
9,
want to retract
wait,
it, but it's sent
8,
already.
I
7.
lost.
Throw up something.
Sean
You
had
got
said
5
Black Widow.
seconds. 5, 4,
That was my first choice.
I think that
3.
was everyone's first choice.
Oh no! All right, let's start over, guys. Out of the 4,
Yeah, I
the
got you.
main 4. So I'm gonna give you
No,
an
no, no,
extra
no, no,
chance
no. We
because
heard
some
you right the first
people
time. We're
didn't.
joking.
All right, okay. I was gonna give you all extra
So we all
chances
got it wrong.
because out of the main 4.
I gotta.
All right, 3. Any last words? 2 and 1.
Right.
Okay.
Just tell me I'm wrong.
So first up was
Oh boy,
Fergie,
you're gonna read off all the answers.
and she said Thor. That is incorrect. Thor was actually in the comics in the 60s at the original Avengers. Next up is Elise. She said Hawkeye. That is against the rules. I said that out of the main 4, Hawkeye's not in the main 4. He's the extra
Yeah,
Black Widow.
he's not. He's not one of the original
No
4.
disrespect to Hawkeye. So you're
Wait, so
automatically
I'm
wrong.
wrong, right?
Automatic.
I'm sorry, you went out.
Yeah, 'cause out of the
I'm
main
wrong.
4.
Oh,
Yeah.
dang, my bad.
And Rob.
Oh,
Hey,
salty.
live and learn. Okay, and so Rob, he said Iron Man, and that is
I
incorrect.
knew it. I
Iron
feel
Man
like I
was
knew who it
actually
was.
in the original.
Yeah, I feel like I know who it was.
Wait,
So,
whoa.
Cap.
all right. So
It was
raise your hands.
Oh man.
I feel like Sean got it right, so
If
you
you
didn't say
think-
her answer.
What? Hold up.
It was
Hold
black.
up. I didn't see Shauna's answer.
Oh, she didn't say an answer? Oh, she didn't give an answer.
I didn't see anything
Okay.
from her.
Black
Black
Widow.
Widow was her answer.
No, that's again the main 4.
Dang.
The main 4, not the
I
shit.
feel like it was Cal.
Okay. So, all right. So raise your hand if you think it's Hulk, and nod your head if you think it's Cap. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So Elise didn't get it right.
I
You
had a
got it
hunch.
right.
Oh,
I had a hunch.
Yep. Yep.
dang it. Well, you can give me partial credit. You could give me like $1 because I got one letter right. I said a Hawkeye, but you see there's an H.
No.
So you give me $1.
So we can
No,
split $10
no.
between the three of us.
No, okay.
No. Bonus question.
Oh man, you really want to give us this $10?
Oh wow.
Bonus
That's what
question.
Wait, we supposed to get money?
Now Sean's involved.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Here's a
Okay.
bonus question. And it's the same thing. If you think it's true, You can nod your head if you think it's false. You can raise your hand. True, nod your head. False, raise your hand. Loki used the Chitauri in the original Avengers to attack the Avengers in the comics.
From 1960?
Yeah. The only one out of you three that's right is Rob. It's false. Loki
Wow.
did not use the Chitauri to attack the Avengers. He used a completely
Yes, he
different
did.
army
Mm-hmm.
in the
Wow.
comics. So Robert will get $10 from me.
Yes, and he's not just saying that for the podcast. I'm really gonna wait for my Venmo.
Wow.
I'm gonna Venmo it to you.
Hey, confirm he's
Wow.
requesting the money now.
Blessings.
I thought the bonus was good, like extra credit. You know, if you
Nah,
feel
I'm
you
not
didn't
giving
get
out $30.
no.
All
Is there
three of them
$5
jokers
prize?
got it right. I'm gonna give out $30.
He's like, nah, there's got to be one winner. There's
Is there
got to be one
$5
winner. I
prize?
only
I
have
kind of want to buy
$10.
some ice cream.
There gotta be one winner.
You get
Yeah.
participation trophies.
Shawnette made me want ice cream. I was thinking about going to the store tomorrow. We don't gotta.
She wants some money.
Next podcast. If we do
No, and
the next Avengers podcast, I'll do another question.
Perfect. I like it for the next one. Awesome. That's a great one.
Yay, money.
But before we end, we always like to talk about the movies that we just
Right.
reviewed, and we like to rank them best to worst. And so, what do you guys have? We just ended Avengers. What is your list? What is your ranking from best to worst?
I got mine. I'll read it off right quick. Number one, at the coveted number one spot, you got Avengers. Number two, the first Iron Man.
Mhm.
Number three, Thor. Number four, the second Iron Man. 5, Hulk. And 6, Captain America, because that movie was trash. Thank you very
Oh
much.
man, it was not that
oh
bad.
my gosh.
It was
Oh,
okay.
Shawnette
It
is
was not
struggling
that
with
That's
bad.
this.
way too deep.
It
I
was
would never
solid.
watch
It was a solid movie.
Right.
It did what it's supposed to do.
Okay,
All
who
right,
else?
now.
Now I remember this movie. I remember the first time she this is the one where I said that I don't want to talk to you for a good week, Frank. You went in.
I promise you guys
Mhm.
it's not good.
I guess
Yeah.
I'll go next. So I'm putting Avengers first, then Captain America, then Thor 1, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and then Hulk.
I find it interesting that you put Avengers first and then Captain America, but your grade for Captain America is through
A
the
plus
roof.
plus. Yeah, he gets an A plus, but I
No,
give
it's a ranking. That's fine. Yeah, yeah,
But it is
that's
confusing.
fine. No,
It is very
we're
confusing.
look, we're complex creatures. Okay.
So I have number 1, Avengers, now at the top spot. Iron Man, then Thor 1, Iron Man 2, Captain America, and Hulk still at the bottom for me.
All right, it's my turn. So I got Avengers number 1, Iron Man 1 number 2, Captain America 1 number 3, Thor 1 number 4, Hulk 5, and Iron Man 2 way at
Oh
the
man.
bottom.
So at number 1, I have Avengers. And number 2, I have Iron Man 1 because that's a classic. Number 3, I have Thor, the first movie. At number 4, I have Captain America, the first Avenger. Then at number 5, I have Iron Man 2 because that movie was trash. And then after Iron Man 2 at number 6, I have The Incredible Hulk because that movie should not exist.
Yeah, at least Iron Man 2 had some good tone.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The first half was really good for that movie, but it went downhill.
But Hulk, man, half that movie
I
was
couldn't
in
see
the
it.
dark.
I don't even
couldn't see. What was
see.
going
I don't
on.
even know what movie I'm ranking. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't know. But guys, thank you for your ranks. What would you rank the first phase of the Marvel movies? Those of you who are listening, do you agree with our ranking? Do you feel like that there should be a different movie at the top? Is there a better movie that you have? Leave your review, email us. But thank you guys again. Next time we get together, what will we be reviewing?
Iron Man 3.
So tune in for that one. That's going to be a very charismatic one. Check you guys later.